fall to Lorena 35-18. That playoff game was really a statement from Brock on a lot of levels, because when they played in district last year, that game was tied at 21 at halftime, Heckman. There were some kids from Whitesboro that said, hey, we kind of beat ourselves, we made some mistakes, we had some turnovers, and the kids from Brock heard that and said as much after that playoff win, that they wanted to make sure in that second meeting that nobody felt like they beat themselves and came out and jumped out to, it was at one point in the third quarter, a 42-0 lead. This year, though, Whitesboro's senior class, that's been really kind of the class they've been looking to for years, they are now seniors, and they are ready to try and get their own measure of revenge after Brock did what they did last year in the playoffs.
Well, you better be careful what you say, and better hope that it doesn't get in the papers, because Brock will use it against you, and as you saw from last year. But, man, this Whitesboro team, they are loaded and ready to go. And you talk about the senior class that they have. They remember everything and them coming up short last year, so that's why this game is so important to them.
So let's get to our players to watch for tonight's football game, and one of them is a key senior for the Whitesboro Bearcats, their running back, Grayson Ledbetter, who Heckma is fantastic.
Not only fantastic, he is putting up video game numbers. And you look at the score sheet, and it's 200 yards here, 260, 300. He's doing that kind of running behind his offensive line. And I'm telling you that if this Whitesboro team will pull out a victory today, it's going to be behind the tough running of Ledbetter.
Meanwhile, for Brock, their fullback / running back / linebacker / water boy / everything, Zach Brewster. This kid's really, really talented and one of the real leaders of this team, too.
I'm so excited to be here to see Zach Brewster. He is that guy for this team. You know, he is tough as nails, and he is a downhill tackler. He is the quintessential linebacker, but he also switches over and he plays some running back. Like you said, he does it all for the squad. So, man, I cannot wait to see this matchup between these two players.
The build-up for this football game is finally complete. Whitesboro and Brock, the game of the year in District 4 3A Division I, kickoff right after this on Friday Night Football. Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reese. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A is Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus.
In a world filled with motion, we are the constant. Filled with storms, we are the calm. Filled with uncertainty, we are reassurance. We bring the truth. We bring hope, conviction, a legacy of grit, determination, honesty, and relevant reporting that doesn't just inform, but inspires. We are WFAA.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Y'all-itics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas. So each week we invite on change makers for cold beer and candid conversations into the issues really affecting Texans. Yeah, and we're bringing in diverse viewpoints so you get to listen and really understand. This is solid information and a deep dive you're not going to get anywhere else. Not to brag, but just to brag a little bit. Okay, a little. We've been trending and making headlines. Plus, we have more than 1 million downloads. And still counting.
Sometimes, parties can tend to go on slightly longer than planned. For Izzy, that's not a problem at all, since she can now catch the 4, 5, 6, or even 10 p.m. newscasts after they air on the new WFAA+. Party on, kids. Are you a consummate multitasker like Chris Lawrence? Cooking, well, attempting dinner for the family while also craving a dose of news? Now you can chop and cook while still tuning in to any live newscast on the new WFAA+.
Your essential local news and weather for free. The WFAA mobile app. Download now.
The official capacity at Eagle Stadium in Brock is 2,250. I have a feeling a bit more than that will be here tonight as Brock hosts Whitesboro on Friday Night Football. Head coaches tonight for Whitesboro, head coach Cody Fagan in his 4th year at Whitesboro. 26-16 in that span, went to the regional final a year ago. For Brock, head coach Billy Mathis, his 2nd year as the Brock head man. They went to the state title game a year ago. Brock won the toss and deferred, so it will be Whitesboro ball to start. Heckma Harrison, and we get a chance to see this superstar running back Grayson Ledbetter take the field against a very good Brock defense.
Man, first and foremost, what an atmosphere for football this is. And so, man, hey, if the fire marshal is here, someone's getting a ticket, all right? Because this place is at maximum capacity tonight, but I am so ready to see this Brock defense against Grayson Ledbetter. We know that this guy can put up some numbers, so, man, it's all going to come down to his legs and what he can get done tonight.
Dylan Foster to kick it away, a short kick that lands inside the 15. Trouble for a moment, but fielded at his own 7-yard line. Out across the 15 and dragging tacklers to the 20 is Whitesboro's Sterling Garton. Beg your pardon, Brett Donaldson, and out comes this Whitesboro offense. Mac Harper, their starting quarterback, a senior this year, 6'3", 200 pounds. Heckma can run it, can throw it, really talented kid. He and Ledbetter in the backfield together is a dangerous combination.
Yeah, these guys have waited for this moment. These are 2 seniors that have gone through all the battles. They've, like I said, we talked about in the pregame, in the open, knocked out of the playoffs last year by this Eagle squad and looking to get a little revenge tonight.
So 1st and 10 right from the 20-yard line for Harper in shotgun. Motions Ledbetter out to the air on the first play. Over the middle, complete. That'll be enough for a first down as he hits Donaldson over the middle and moves the chains right off the jump. This is an RPO-based system, Heckma. They're going to put the ball in the belly of Grayson Ledbetter a good bit. But if they don't like what they see in the run game, you're going to see them hit Jay Sanders and Brett Donaldson a lot in the middle of the field.
And I'm sure they've been anticipating that. And the first play from scrimmage, picking up positive yards. Got to feel good about that.
1st and 10 at the 31. Quick throw near side. Dangerous pass, but completed to Clay Hermes.
And look, it looks like they're going straight tempo right now. No huddle, coming right back to the line of scrimmage, not allowing this Brock Eagle squad to make any substitution. So, loving the pace of this game already.
Pickup of 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3 now. Harper will be in shotgun 95% of the time. This time hands off to Ledbetter. The ball's on the deck. Scrambling back to get on top of it is a Whitesboro offensive lineman. Good hustle from Cody Vessels to recover that football after Ledbetter took a shot from Cooper Massey.
Yeah, Cooper Massey reads this the whole way. And you talk about that RPO, and what happens a lot of times is you show your hand by putting the ball in the belly of that running back. And if you can read that, man, you're working with something. And you saw right there, Cooper Massey didn't flinch on that tackle.
So a loss of about 11 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 14. Harper's going to be in shotgun. 3 wides to the far side, top of the formation. Pressure in his face. Trying to get away. He will not. Through with the sack is Cam Harris.
You got to love that. Cam Harris coming from his edge. He is shedding tacklers and going right after Mac Harper. That is a great shed by the 6'2", 200-pound defensive end for the Brock Eagles.
Harris and Brock Riker there to finish him off as well. 2 negative plays back-to-back for Whitesboro, and they're forced to punt on 4th and a mile. Harper, their quarterback, is also their punter. Line drive punt up the far sideline will bound out of bounds. Right about the midfield stripe, they will indeed mark the football directly at the 50-yard line. So Heckma Harrison for the Brock Eagles offense, fantastic field position to open up this football game.
No, absolutely, and obviously with those quick sets, the way that they started the game, it looked like from initially the Bearcats were moving the ball pretty well, and then defensively the Eagles said, look, we're going to stop you right here.
So far, number 7, kick tackle, first down.
So, wow, the field position gets even better here for Brock as a penalty after the play, a personal foul against Whitesboro. Rob Jasper, our referee tonight, the crew chief of a 7-man crew from the Fort Worth Football Officials Association, and they're now putting the ball at the 35-yard line. outstanding field position for this Brock Eagles offense. A nightmare start here for Cody Fagan and his Bearcats.
No, that's probably for Coach Fagan. It's driving him crazy. You don't want to start a game like that. You know the intensity is high. Both of these teams wanting to get off to a good start, but you don't want to start like that.
So it'll be Moody in shotgun, handoff Brewster on the first play of the game, gains a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. This Brock offense, a power spread offense in the shotgun themselves an awful lot of the game. They're going to run the ball, though, with Tutter and Brewster, and they're going to block it up in front, Heckman.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? For Tyler Moody, he's got to rely on his running game and stay balanced, but also look to take shots down the field as well. And so it's going to be interesting, the gamesmanship to start this game off between these two high-caliber coaches, and that's a snap that goes over the head of Moody.
Moody still trying to pounce on top of it. He has it. It's still loose. Whitesboro's going to pick it up and run with it. Sterling Garton out ahead of the pack, chased down from behind, but after Whitesboro gave away 2 negative plays themselves, now they get an answer in kind from Brock, and the Bearcats are set up deep in Brock territory.
And Sterling Garton, he's the one that got the 15-yard penalty called on him. Way to redeem yourself, number 7, by picking up that fumble. And obviously wishes that he could have ran for pay dirt there, but hey, talk about field position flipping on the side now for the Bearcats.
Huge, huge play. Garton picking it up and running with it. It was Brewster that chased him down from behind and saved the touchdown, but it's 1st and 10 for Whitesboro at the 21 in Brock territory. 3 wides in a triangle to the left for Harper. He'll pump fake that way. Now tries to get away, can't, and he's going to go down again, trying to maybe do a little too much there, and gets taken down for a loss. He had the man open to his left. Pump faked, honestly, with the way that Brewster came through, maybe a smart play, because otherwise that would have been tipped and maybe picked.
Yeah, and you see the athleticism right now from the Eagles defense. They are crowding the line of scrimmage and making those passing lanes for Harper, really just impeding his vision right now. He's not trusting what he sees, but I look for him to come back to that play later, because you're right, he did have a guy wide open.
Loss of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 15. Ledbetter motions out, they try and set up the tunnel screen, and it's picked off! Intercepted by Hunter Fay, undercut by Harper at the 50. But Hunter Fay answers right back now for Brock. What a start to this football game.
Hunter Fay is going to send Mac Harper a Christmas card, because that was a gift to him on the line of scrimmage. Doesn't get any easier than that. They had a screen set up, but that is a great way to read it. If you're number 54, he's just hanging back. What did I tell you last week? Hey, if you find yourself running to the quarterback by yourself, they didn't forget to block you, so stop, all right? Because the screen is coming behind you. That's a great read for number 54.
Hunter Fay, the junior defensive tackle, read it brilliantly and stepped right into the passing lane, right in front of the waiting wide receiver. And here comes Brock again, set up right at the midfield stripe. Flags before the snap, and now they'll give 5 yards of those back, because this is both teams are in a giving spirit, Heck, but they're both trying to give as much away as they can here in the opening 4 minutes of the football game.
Well, we've got to stop the charity at some point and start with get this football game underway. So
Trina Smith in the YouTube comments already calling it a defensive game. It's been an interesting game at the very least here in the first 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Do let us know if you're watching on our WFAA YouTube channel. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're tuning in to see tonight. If you got a favorite player on one of these two teams, let us know who you're rooting for here on Friday Night Football. Quick throw near side, bobbled but caught. Nice job to stay on his feet on the near side by Jet Jones, and he's going to have enough for a first down after it was 1st and 15.
Well, Jet, he's so good he had to catch it twice. Look at this. It hits him in the hands. He has a guy at his knees and catches it again, and then rumbles forward for a first down. It's a good job.
Gavin Brown had a shot at him but couldn't quite hang on to him. The bobble, I think, factored into that. And he picks up the first down. Michael Hall in the YouTube comments says he's watching from the Cedar Hill Skyline game tonight. Michael, we appreciate you being with us tonight. Handoff coming near side in the hands of Reed Watkins, trying to get to the outside. Give him a gain of 2 on the play.
Yeah, that's definitely what they got to get going, is the running game. That's going to be very important. Getting this running game going, and Reed Watkins trying to catch the edge. And this Whitesboro defense is not giving up any room.
It'll be 2nd down and 8 after the pickup of 2. A wild first 5 minutes of this football game.
It looks like that's a free play.
Deep shot up the far sideline here from Moody. Knocked away. Really nice play in coverage was Jace Sanders to tip it away from Jet Jones.
Okay, so let me tell you what I just gathered from that play right there. Tyler Moody has a cannon. Yeah, so that one, he put a lot of air under that one. So that is one of those Jet Jones specials that he can run underneath that. That's easy pickings.
It was Kason Williams back there in coverage that tipped the football away, made a really nice play on the ball. Otherwise, that could have been a touchdown pass there from Moody to Jet Jones. Instead, they assess the 5-yard penalty. 2nd down and 3 here. Handoff coming near side for Watkins. Cuts in the hole, and he's up to the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Brock. What a run from Reed Watkins. Put his foot in the ground and went north and south right away for the touchdown.
And that's just excellent running. Look at this. Getting downhill immediately. He only takes 1 or 2 moves at the line of scrimmage. But his offensive line, Brock Riker, the 6'4", 250-pound left tackle, man, it's opening up an HOV lane over here on this side for him to run through. That's just great blocking up front for Brock.
Brock will go swinging gate. That's where they're in right now. They're going to try and go for 2 here. Moody rolling right, firing end zone. Incomplete, knocked away at the last moment. Good fight with Reed Watkins to knock that football away. That's twice now that we've seen Kason Williams do a really nice job to break up at what would have otherwise been a completion, and it will stay 6-0.
Yeah, you see out of the swinging gate, they are definitely coming right out and being aggressive. Are the Brock Eagles trying to get a 2-point conversion there instead of the PAT? But here we are, 6-0 in this first quarter, and hey, once the flag stops, we see these guys can really play football. So I'm loving this rhythm of this play right now.
Yeah, comment here from Jim Spears, who says he's watching from De Leon. He says, settle down, boys, just a little amp to start this football game.
Right.
And we've seen that from both of these teams, really. But credit to Brock to be the one that was the first to at least settle down a little bit and go make something happen there with Reed Watkins.
Absolutely. You can feel the nerves, though.
Yeah. I mean, just in talking with Zach Brewster and a couple other guys down on the field before the game, and we were talking about, hey, this certainly feels like a district championship game. Paradise is off to a 3-0 start in district play as well, but it certainly looks like, if you just look at the way that they've beat the teams they've beaten, and you look at the way that these 2 teams have beaten the teams that they've beaten, it looks like Whitesboro and Brock are in their own category, and everybody else in the district is at least a half a rung down. This feels like whoever wins tonight, at the very least, whoever wins this football game, Heckma, is in the driver's seat in the district to go win a championship.
Well, sitting listening to you talk about the point differential between all these teams playing in this district was interesting all on its own as we see things open up. But I think the point that you're making is that it's pretty close in this district right now. And so everyone has got to stay in their winning ways if they want to come away with a district title. But you talk about just a playoff atmosphere. That's what I'm feeling. You know, not district. This is playoff atmosphere here at the Eagle Stadium.
That was Brett Donaldson that went right up the middle there on the kickoff return. Nearly found a big crease. Did do a nice job to get the ball all the way out to the 39-yard line, and that's where Whitesboro will begin their 3rd series of the day. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Harper swinging it near side. Trouble, and what a hit from Cale Bramblett. Absolutely annihilated Brett Donaldson. And Donaldson is down. It certainly looked like a clean hit, but a vicious hit.
Yeah, Bramblett, that's as easy a read for a cornerback. You're standing out there already, and they pretty much a smoke screen out that way. You're going to pick up on that. There's not a blocker in front, so he didn't have anybody on him. So pretty much Donaldson was out there by himself on that catch, and he did take a lick.
You see Donaldson back up on his feet now, but certainly looks to be a little bit wobbly after taking such a big hit.
Yeah, a lot of times you get hit under the shoulder pads like that. It just takes the wind out of you.
Yeah, Sierra Jones, the athletic trainer for the Whitesboro Bearcats, and you got to imagine they're going to be taking a close look at Brett Donaldson to try and make sure that he's okay. after he took a big hit from Cale Bramlett. After the incompletion, 2nd down and 10. Harper fakes it this side, and he's going to be taken down again, at least the 3rd time he's been sacked here in the early going. And again, through for the sack, it's Cam Harris.
Yeah, they got to find a way to put a hat on number 44. If they're going to just leave him unblocked out there on the right end, he's going to be a game wrecker. And even on that play that for Cale Bramlett, again, you're sending him out here, you're throwing the ball. Bramlett is 5 yards off of the ball. He's going to see that every time, especially if he doesn't have a blocker in his face. Right now, I think they're having a communication problem with their blocking scheme.
3rd down and 14. They're going to hand it off up the middle here for Ledbetter. First time he's carried the football in this game. That by itself, Heckma, is surprising to me. He picks up 5 or 6 on the play, but it will still be 4th and 8, and Whitesboro is still going to have to punt this football away. This has been a very disjointed start to the football game for this Brock offense. They ran play after play after play now that what looked to be a fake screen or an actual screen, and it seems like that's kind of been the only play they've really run so far up until that one run for Ledbetter. Another line drive punt here from Harper will hop its way across the 25 and be downed at the 23-yard line by Blake Havoc.
And you would think that for the Whitesboro Bearcats, they want to get behind their running game. And I think that's the thing that's so surprising, that they've come out and they're throwing the ball so much. And so they have a guy in Grayson Ledbetter. If you look at his numbers, man, it's off the charts, what he's doing to this point. So I would look for them right now to try and settle down, get some things going on the ground to add some more balance to their offense, because you're right, they look disjointed right now, and that's the only word I could come up with also.
Billy Goat 3 on YouTube says he's watching from Paradise, Texas tonight as Brock takes over 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Another high snap through the hands of Moody. This time he's able to scramble back on top of it, but he's taken down. They're going to call that tripping. I think that's what that flag is going to be. He was taken down by Whitesboro's Colin Phillips, but it looked like he was tripped. I don't even know if it was intentional, though, and that may be part of the discussion here between the officiating crew as to whether or not it was an intentional. Oh, that was definitely an intentional trip. Yeah, now that we see the replay, there's no question that was an intentional trip by Colin Phillips, and you cannot do that.
First foul. Previous spot, 15 yards. Perfect.
Give you another look at the replay here. I mean, there's no question whatsoever. First of all, good job by Moody to scramble back on top of this football. But, I mean, on some level, you understand. I mean, Colin Phillips is trying to make a play, but it's not legal. You can't do that.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of plays on the football field, but, you know, that's one of those.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen that one.
I want to try and come up with something to break this down as a color analyst, but I got nothing for you right there, Mike.
It was different.
Okay.
I guess, I mean, that ball's nearly dropped, but was held onto by Jet Jones, so he'll pick up about 6 yards on 1st and 10. Yeah, that was one of the more unique plays we'll see all season. You see there on the replay, Jones did squeeze that. Nice catch.
That's a good job. We saw him double kick. He's caught a ball twice over here on this side. So Jet is definitely the guy that they're going to be going for in this passing game.
They go deep again here for Jet Jones, and it's picked off. Kason Williams with another great play on the football. This time he hangs on to it. Back across the 40-yard line and finally taken down there. It is Christmas in Parker County. Everybody wants to give everything away tonight.
Kason Williams is trying to figure out, man, look, are you guys trying to target me here? Because I'm going to run underneath this. He had more of an angle on that ball than the receiver himself, and so it's a great pickoff for Kason Williams.
Kason Williams, a kid that was a basketball player up until this year, that a lot of the coaches and some of his teammates here on this football team said, hey, you're an athlete, come play football with us, come help us out. He helped out big time right there with a big interception to really kind of help stem the tide, because other than that, these opening 6.5 minutes have felt very Brock heavy. Now a chance for Whitesboro to answer. Handoff up the middle here for Grayson Ledbetter. Now they finally get the young senior running back unleashed. He's across midfield and a pickup of 12 on 1st down.
And why don't you use the weapon that you came here with? And that's Grayson Ledbetter. I mean, his numbers are off the charts. His ability to get through the hole, and I mean, he's not going to make a whole bunch of moves as you see there, man. But he is a road grader, and he keeps the pile going, churning, legs going the whole time.
I do not know why it took them until now to finally start riding Grayson Ledbetter, but at least they are now doing it. You mentioned the stretch that he's been on of late. His last 4 games, he missed a lot of last year because of injury, missed the first 2 games of this year because of injury, but he's been back on the field the last 4 games. In those 4 games, 201 yards and 2 touchdowns, 131 yards and 2 touchdowns, 247 yards and 2 touchdowns as Harper swings it out wide, complete in the hands of Jay Sanders, and Sanders is up the sideline. Sanders inside the 10 and out of bounds. Another big play here for Brock. Now they finally have the offense moving a little bit.
Look at this play design. They have a jet sweep going one way. The defense, they are just on their heels, don't know which way to go. And look at the play design. You talk about them being disjointed a minute ago. I think they've gotten things back together with their communication.
They are jointed now. 1st and 10 right at the 10-yard line. Officially 1st and goal. Harper in shotgun. 2 wides to either side. Ledbetter in the backfield with him. Hand to Ledbetter, but he meets a face full of 3 Brock defenders. They were ready for him this time.
Yeah, and you're going to make it that easy. Again, you're going to have to get a hat on number 44. Cam Harris, to this point so far in the first quarter, man, he is going to get 3 stars by the end of this football game if they could keep leaving this kid unblocked.
2nd down and goal, but the ball now back at the 13-yard line. They draw him off. Free play here. End zone shot for Harper up top. Knocked away, nearly hauled in by Carter Sluter, but they will get the free 5 yards here.
And that's a good throw for Mac Harper. Sluter hits him right in the hands. Back shoulder fade. Got to take advantage of those free plays.
They do get the free 5 yards, though, and an extra down, so they'll move the ball forward to the 8-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal once again. Just to finish the point about Grayson Ledbetter, I mentioned 201, 131, 247, and 267 his last 2 weeks out. 2 touchdowns in each of those 4 games. 846 yards and 8 touchdowns in 4 football games. Heckman, he has been on a ridiculous eater.
No, that's outstanding. Just speaks to how tough he is, and he's doing this week in and week out. A guy that missed a lot of last year, just taking advantage of all the opportunities that he's getting. And there's Brewster with the heat on the quarterback. And they're coming. Let me tell you something. This Eagles defense, they are coming.
It was Brewster who got there first. Luke Kearley finished him off, and Mac Harper has just had nothing but blue in his face all night.
Yeah, no, they're going to have to try something different, either with their blocking scheme or go with something a little bit quicker, because this Brock Eagle squad is not fooled by anything that they're doing.
3rd down and goal, ball at the 14-yard line. It would be a 31-yard field goal from here. They don't feel like they've got a ton of range to kick a field goal. Harper, flush forward in the pocket, going to try and take off and run for it. Inside the 10, Harper cuts at the 5, still on his feet, spins his way to the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Mac Harper. What a singular effort from the senior quarterback.
That is all Mac Harper. Look at this play right here. He has a guy dragging on him, 1 block to beat, off balance, and spins into the end zone with Luke Kearley, on his back. It's a good job by number 10, Mac Harper, getting the score and getting the Bearcats on the board.
On the board and in the lead, extra point up and through. And with $1:58 to play in quarter number 1, Whitesboro has a lead on the road against 10th-ranked Brock, 7-6. Mac Harper, 14 yards on the touchdown run, and they lead it by a point late in the first on Friday Night Football. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff. Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A as Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus. As we welcome you back to Eagle Stadium in Brock, 7-6 now, the lead in favor of Whitesboro. Mac Harper with a 14-yard touchdown run to give his team the lead. Naxalone in the YouTube comments says that there was a block in the back missed on that play. I didn't see it. I'm not saying you're wrong, but we can maybe at some point we'll try and take a peek back at that play one more time.
Clearly a Brock Eagle fan. Clearly.
Randall Warren says he's watching from Frisco tonight. As Sterling Darton gets set to kick it away. They're going to kick this as a squib kick, bounding up the middle, fielded on a hop by Luke Kearley. Nice play on the football, trying to get to the far sideline and run out of bounds there just across the 40-yard line. But again, Heckman, good field position here for the Brock Eagles. They have been starting in very favorable spots on the field all through the night so far.
Yeah, well, what they have to do, honestly, is they got to calm down. They're so explosive on offense and defense. These turnovers right now is really self-inflicted, costing them. That last output on offense from Tyler Moody and the interception by Williams is a great play on the ball by a former basketball player, and we'll talk later about what Coach Fagan had to say about him. But you know, those are just plays that you can't make in this ball game.
Handoff up the middle here for Watkins, but he's wrapped up in the interior. Justin Cordell hung on for dear life. And when 6'3", 330 pounds hangs onto you, Heckman Harrison, you don't go very far after that.
Well, it has here in our notes that he eats up blockers, and literally looking at that number 77 on him, he can do that. So, yeah, I don't doubt it.
Dale Young says he's watching from Fort Worth, says go Eagles tonight. Pat McMahon says, don't they require knee pads anymore? Kind of not really anymore. Option running near side. Moody with a lot of space. Cuts up field, across midfield, and a first down.
That's a good decision by Tyler Moody to keep that ball. He recognized that there were two guys waiting on his pitch man, Reed Watkins, and he just takes the hash to go up and get a first down. Great decision by the senior quarterback.
Colin Phillips was waiting for Reed Watkins, who was the pitch man, but then came back to make the tackle on Moody. 1st and 10 at the 49 in plus territory. Handoff Watkins. Patient in the hole and picks up 5.
Look at this, is Adam Mueller coming this way. He at number 54, Hunter Fay. All of these guys, you could tell that they are trying to get to the second level to allow to open up that block in those lanes for Reed Watkins.
If you would, please click the like button, click the subscribe button here on the WFA YouTube channel, as we will bring you a game every week here on Friday Night Football. A week from tonight, we will be at C.H. Collins in Denton for one of the biggest games in the state all year in 5A. Denton Ryan hosting Aledo. 1 quarter in the books here in Brock, though. 7-6 the score after 1. We'll be back after this on Friday Night Football.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Yolitics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas. So each week we invite on change makers for cold beer and candid conversations into the issues really affecting Texans.
Yeah, and we're bringing in diverse viewpoints so you get to listen and really understand.
This is solid information and a deep dive you're not going to get anywhere else.
Not to brag.
Just to brag a little bit.
Okay, a little. We've been trending and making headlines.
Plus, we have more than 1 million downloads.
And still counting.
As we welcome you back here on Friday Night Football. Brock hosting Whitesboro, trailing though 7-6 here early as we begin the second quarter. Matt Sutherland says Bearcat Nation in the YouTube comments. MH says watching from Denison, Texas, says go Bearcats. Maple Syrup says watching from Whitesboro, says go Boro. The Boro Tough Whitesboro Bearcats on defense right now, staring at a 2nd and 5 against this Brock offense. Heckman, Brock, again, with great field position basically all night long, again trying to capitalize here.
Yeah, it's just staying in front of the chains the way that they are. And there's another, right as I'm about to make that statement, here we go with another penalty.
We've seen an awful lot of Rob Jasper so far tonight.
Yeah.
The false start gives back the 5 yards that they gained on the first play of the set.
Well, what I was about to say is them staying ahead of the chains is probably working in their favor with the running game that they have. But those penalties that they had in the first quarter really just kind of made a lot of that difficult. And so here they are with the 2nd and 10.
Penalties and some high snaps to Tyler Moody. That's been the real bugaboo for Brock here in the early going. This time the snap's on target, the throw's on target. Complete to Brewster, and he'll be close to a first down. He'll have a first down.
Hey, you talk about a guy that can do it all. You got your fullback out there on an out route in the flat, matched up man-to-man. This kid is, man, he's definitely a stud. Love the conversation that we had with his coach, and he had nothing but high praise for him. Big Coach Mathis was talking about the stud linebacker that he is, but also how selfless he is. Oh, my
wow.
God. What a shot.
Isaiah Chappelle just decapitated Reed Watkins.
Man, that's you don't want to have 6 foot 260 pounds on you. I mean, he's built like a trash can full of dirt right there, man, and he is not going to allow you to run through his face. So you got to be careful when you got that in the middle.
They call him Dave.
They call him Dave.
As in Dave Chappelle. Okay. Isaiah Chappelle
Dave
makes the play. Look at that. As he spun, he pitched it out to Watkins, and Watkins with speed up the sideline to the 10-yard line. What a football play from Tyler Moody. Watch this again. Little pitch and spin, and off he goes.
That is really great awareness from Tyler Moody. The pitch spin, how about that?
That's pretty special. Pat McMahon says watching exciting high school football from the Banana Belt of Vermont Bellows Falls. Pat, we appreciate you being with us tonight. Jordan Bredehoff says he's watching from Missouri, says go Bearcats. And Aiden Tyler says he's watching from the University of Oklahoma tonight, up in Norman. He says go Bearcats. Lachelle St. John says way to go Isaiah, talking to Isaiah Chappelle, the senior defensive tackle from Whitesboro. Jim Spears says, trash can full of dirt. That's great.
That's what it was. I mean,
that's Heckman Harrison, baby.
What do you want me to say? This is Dave.
Edward Waugh says, watching from Gainesville, Texas, says, go Cats. Out of the timeout, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. 3 wides to the near side here for Moody. Handoff Watkins. Watkins running left guard, spinning inside the 5, dragging tacklers. He'll have the first down. It'll be 1st and goal.
If I get the ball, look at this counter coming out, number 54, Hunter Bay. Yeah, these guys are opening up some holes right now for Reed Watkins, and he is being so patient. And when you have those kind of holes to run through, man, it makes everything easy. Now, going back before, I'll say it again, and hopefully there's not a penalty when I say this. They're so much better when they stay ahead of the chains. They get these big plays, and they find themselves in positive yardage. And that's all set up by Tyler Moody. That pitch play, that was the big gainer getting around the edge. They're just being very patient on offense and blocking everything in front of them.
Tight formation, handoff, Watkins, everybody in front of him, and he's in. Touchdown, Brock. Reed Watkins' 2nd touchdown of the day, and the Eagles go back in front.
And that's just easy for Reed Watkins. All of those blockers in front of him, these guys are falling in the end zone. That's a great job by number 25, Reed Watkins. Love his running style. So very smooth, man, and fluid the way that this guy runs. It's kind of effortless.
Looks like they're going to go for it here and try and make it 14-7. Watkins dots the I, handoff left side, same play, same result, running the other way, and 2 on the board for Brock, so they make up for the 2-point conversion that they failed on earlier with the swinging gate. This time Heckman just load everybody up and head to the end zone. 14-7, early 2nd quarter. Brock back in front on Friday Night Football. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff. Our brand new color commentator, Heckman Harrison. Heckman, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A as Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus.
Dylan Foster to kick off the block.
Back on Friday Night Football.
Number 3, Brett Robinson back deep for Whitesboro.
Major Ledbetter in the YouTube comments says he's watching from Fort Benning, Georgia. Joe Cavender says Cody Fagan is an awesome coach. I wish him all the best. Of course, that's the head coach of the Whitesboro Bearcats. Bernard2325 says Brock by 10 is his early prediction. Gerardo Zambrin Jr. says he's watching from Brazil tonight. As the kickoff is a high kick popped up the near sideline, running underneath and fielding it, bringing it out across the 30-yard line is Sterling Garten. And out comes this Whitesboro offense once again. Joey Roberts says go Eagles. Eric Axe says shout out to Abigail Axe and the Whitesboro Marching Band. We will bring you the show from the Whitesboro Marching Band, as well as the Brock Eagles Mob, the music of Brock, on the halftime show here on Friday Night Football. Percy Vaughn says watching from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We appreciate you guys all tuning in tonight here on Friday Night Football. Again, please click that like button, click the subscribe button. Again, we'll bring you a game here every week on Friday Night Football. 1st and 10 for the Whitesboro Bearcats, ball at their own 35-yard line, and we'll see if they can answer Heckma Harrison as Mac Harper is in shotgun. Quick throw far side. Complete eventually to Brett Donaldson, who is back on the football field after taking that big hit earlier. Spun out of bounds, but not before he picked up 8 on first down.
And this is a better play design, Mike. Look at the way that they're blocking it up front for him, and he doesn't open his eyes and see Kel Bramlett in front of him, which he's probably going to see Kel Bramlett in his sleep tonight. But that's a better way to get that blocked up and pick up positive yards, and they look at a 2nd and 4. But if I can make one request, give Grayson Ledbetter the ball. Come on.
He ran it well on their last series. They fake it to him. Quick throw far side. Low throw incomplete. Clay Hermes thought he caught that football. I'll give you another look at it here. I'm not sure that he's wrong.
I think he pinned it to his leg. It may have.
Yeah.
I want to give the ref the benefit of the doubt. He's the closest to it on that side. So
certainly a lot closer than our cameras, no doubt. They say incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Leslie Melton says watching from Whitesboro, says shout out to Brooklyn Melton and Ezra Melton, flute and tuba in the Whitesboro band. 3rd down and 4. 3 wides to the near side here for Harper. Handoff up the middle. Ledbetter led her right up the gut. Inside the 35. He will not be caught. Grayson Ledbetter. 57 yards to pay dirt, and Whitesboro answers right back.
Mike Leslie, back in my day, used to call the radio station and make a request. So I just made a request to give the ball to number 4, Grayson Ledbetter. Thank you, somebody, for listening, because that kid can do this all day, and they go with a version of their own swinging gait.
And Mac Harper's in.
How about that?
This time it works. Both these two teams are very similar in special teams. They both like the swinging gait. They've both got quarterbacks that punt. This time the quarterback runs it in on the 2-point conversion try, and Whitesboro steals a point. They're in front, 15-14. I think we got a good one here in Parker County. Thanks for being with us tonight on Friday Night Football.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Y'all-itics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas. So each week we invite on change makers for cold beer and candid conversations into the issues really affecting Texans.
Yeah, and we're bringing in diverse viewpoints so you get to listen and really understand.
This is solid information and a deep dive you're not going to get anywhere else.
Not to brag,
But just to brag a little bit.
okay, a little. We've been trending and making headlines.
Plus, we have more than 1 million downloads.
And still counting.
Back on Friday Night Football, Grayson Ledbetter, 57 yards up the gut for the touchdown, the 2-point conversion for Mac Harper, and Whitesboro with a 15-14 lead here early on in the 2nd quarter. I went down on the field, Heckma Harrison, before the game, talking with the coaching staff from Whitesboro, Cody Fagan, and some of his assistant coaches, and I needed to get a shot of video of Grayson Ledbetter to put into our pregame open. And I said, hey, where's Grayson? How can I find him? I swear to God, Cody Fagan said, just look for muscles. You'll find him. He is a big, strong, looks like a football player kind of dude. And he showed a little bit of why right there on a 57-yard touchdown run. Now coming near side is Kearley once again, fielding the bounded ball on the kickoff, and he brings it out to the 47-yard line.
Boy, these kicks, boy, they're really hard to field. To give Kearley credit for fielding that kick and getting some positive yardage on the kickoff. And more positive yard start for the Eagles.
Yeah. Sean Anthony in the YouTube comments says, watching from Toronto, I don't know how. Sean, we appreciate you being with us just the same.
Thank you.
Joe Watson says, class of 74, go Bearcats. We appreciate you tuning in. Linda Jackson says, watching from Boyd tonight, said her grandson played at Brock Junior High in high school, but they lived in Sherman for 35 years. Linda, we appreciate you being with us. First down throw near side, knocked away, tipped at the line of scrimmage, and incomplete. Zayden the Rat says, say my name, dude. He just wanted to hear his name said on the broadcast. Zayden, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. Another prediction, Logan says he's got Whitesboro by 14 tonight. That would send shockwaves.
Yeah, man, you might want to watch this game. It's going to be a lot closer than we think. At this point, both of these teams are battling.
Second down and 10. Ball at the 46. Handoff to Tutter for the first time today, and Brett Tutter goes knifing up the gut. He's got 13 and a first down.
Yeah, and right now what's really impressive is when they come on these counters, and that's Wyatt Albritton coming across from his right tackle position on that counter and knocking out that edge over there and opening up that big hole for number 22, Brett Tuttle.
Moody looks near side. Blake Christensen, their offensive coordinator. Down to 15 on the play clock as they reset things. Tutter to the left here of Moody. All three wide receivers to the left, a tight end right. Handoff Tutter. Off left guard, lowers his shoulder, picks up 6.
Oh, they are so good when they're not jumping off sides, right? And this offensive line, they are moving the crowd up front. Trace Roger, number 77, doing a really good job from the center position, opening things up in that A-gap.
Brock slowing things down here a little bit. Second down and 5. Handoff Tutter once again. And it looks like he'll have enough to move the chains once again. Merritt Sonic Mr. Mars says in the comments, shout out to Elizabeth Walter in the audience. He then follows up and says, Elizabeth Walter's the girl I have a crush on. So we got somebody in our YouTube comments trying to shoot his shot right now.
You got to be at the game to do all of that, man. Come on now.
Miguel Luna says, upset in the works here. Coach Fagan, the GOAT. We shall see. Still a lot of football to play here tonight. Handoff to Brewster on jet motion, coming near side. Good job to knife through and make the tackle on that one. Good work from Colton Vogie.
Yeah, how about that, doing it all? They sent him also on a jet sweep coming around. If he would have just been able to get to the outside, I think that's where his blocking was, but chose to cut it back inside.
Gain of a yard on the play. Second down and 9. Matt Sutherland in the comments says, if the Bearcats win, I'll attend the Peanut Festival this year. For those unaware, Whitesboro, kind of known for peanuts. That's what they do. They have a peanut festival every year. The little helmet stickers on the players' helmets, those are little peanut stickers. That's what they get if they make a big play. Moody flushed out, finds Brewster though. He's got the first down, out of bounds, takes a big hit at the end of the play. They are going to throw a flag on that. Jace Sanders is going to get flagged here. I'd love to get another look at, so here comes the replay about whether or not this was a late hit or not. It didn't look like it live, but maybe he was already out of bounds.
Yeah, he was out of bounds, but then this leading.
Yeah, and the rip through with the shoulder and the elbow too is probably what really drew the attention. Rob Jasper and company still talking things over here.
And that's a player that they can ill afford to lose.
Foul on the play for
Zach Brewster.
targeting.
They
The player
do.
on defensive down count.
Okay, so they do pick the flag up. I think because of the timing there and Brewster still down after the play. Brewster, like we told you here before the game, one of their very best football players. As Cody Fagan watches on.
And maybe they just looked at that as a bang-bang play.
It was very close, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, you want to hope that number 2 is all right. He is walking very gingerly on that right ankle. I think he got it pinned behind him on the hit.
Yeah. Honestly, on some level, and not that you ever want to see a kid hurt in any way, shape, or form, but I'm almost relieved to see that what he's dealing with is an ankle injury or a leg injury of some sort and not a head injury, given the shot that he took. When I saw that he was down, my first thought was that maybe he had really gotten his bell rung on that hit. Again, hurt is hurt, and obviously, I mean, as he walks more and more, it seems like he's getting more limber, and you see him hop up there on the training table. So you hope that Zach Brewster is going to be able to get back on the football field tonight. But if you're going to have your pick between an ankle injury and a head injury, you pick the ankle injury every time.
Oh, absolutely.
Good to see that he's already starting to loosen things up. Back to the action, 1st and 10, handoff Tutter up the middle. Give him maybe 3 or 4 on the first play of the set. Again, like you were saying, it was a bang-bang play. It was close. Could have been flagged. Initially was. Then they decided to pick up the flag, and that's indicative of just how borderline it was.
Yeah, and these are the times that we live in football, man. They're going to call that a lot of the times when you see it on the sidelines, especially an over-aggressive tackle. You know, that's just the benefit that they're giving the offense. You know, that didn't always used to be that way. But credit to the referees for picking that flag up and letting these guys play.
Midway point of quarter number 2. Moody's going to try and keep it himself. Cuts up field. Nice job to stay on his feet. He's going to have a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal for Brock.
And I thought they had Tyler Moody in the grass. I have no idea how he gets out of this.
And he got away, by the way, from Sterling Garton, All-State, first-team All-State linebacker last year in 3A. That is who had a beat on Tyler Moody, and he was able to make a move and get away from him.
Yeah, he doesn't miss much.
So 1st and goal, ball at the 7-yard line. Pistol set, handoff Tutter, running left guard, lowers his shoulder, down to the 2.
And you see this running game, boy, is really starting to take a toll. They're running through that left side over there with Brock Riker. Really love what that left tackle is doing. He is pinning those guys down inside, and they're coming right off of his hip pocket. They are stout up front, Brock Eagles.
2nd down and goal. Tutter in the backfield, gets the handoff, lowers his shoulder and runs right into the chest of Isaiah Chappelle.
Hey, Dave is like a cement truck, man. This guy is not good. You just can't run through him, okay? So number 62, he is so tough inside, man, and you can tell, man, those blockers are trying to move him out of there, but he's splitting two offensive linemen.
3rd down and goal. A loss of a yard on the play, so they'll mark it at the 3. Play clock down to 6. Moody with Tutter to his right. Play clock down to 2. Takes the snap. Play action fake. Rolling near side. Pressure to space. Fires back of the end zone. Touchdown. Carson Finney open on the back line, and he scores.
Look at this great decision making by Tyler Moody. He is going with his 3rd option in the end zone and catching Carson Finney on the crossing route. That was a really good drive for the Brock Eagles.
And they pay it off with the 3-yard touchdown hook up from Moody to Finney. And it certainly appears they're going to keep the offense on the field here and go for it once again. Their main kicker, Brody Baker, is hurt. So that's part of the decision-making process here tonight. Motion man is Brewster. Handoff Tutter. This time he will not get there. The Whitesboro defense up to the task. It will stay a 5-point game, and the Whitesboro crowd loves it. Key points in this football game coming on special teams. It stays a 5-point game as we move to the late stages of the second quarter here on Friday Night Football. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff.
Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A is Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus. As we welcome you back to Parker County, Eagle Stadium in Brock.
What a game.
Dude.
Hadn't disappointed at all.
This is a battle.
Yeah.
This is an absolute battle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the district standings here for these two teams. Both of these teams are at the top of this table, and there's no question these are the two best teams in District 4 3A Division 1. All due respect to Paradise, who has started off 3-0, but they've beaten some of the weaker teams in the district. Whitesboro and Brock appear to be in kind of their own stratosphere this year in 4-3A Division 1. Last year when these two teams met in district play, it was 21 all at halftime. Brock did pull away and won 42-21. They pulled away in the second half and won that game going away. The playoff game was nowhere near as close, but last year during the regular season, they did play what was, for 3 quarters anyway, a pretty close football game. And here through a quarter and a half and a little bit more than that, it has been a very close and very tightly contested football game.
And that's what those Whitesboro seniors hung their hat on, is the fact that they were so close in that game and felt like they gave it up at the last minute. And hey, you gave up some press clippings with saying, look, we let that game get away, we beat ourselves, and then you get in the playoffs and they get,
yeah,
everything ran away from them. But for Brock, I think with the tough schedule early for them, you look at their schedule and you think this may be a down year for them. It isn't. They just played some tougher opposition. And then you find a lot of teams that are in the hunt for a championship, they like to schedule those tough games early.
Yeah, Brock began this season 0-4, but when you look at who they played in those 4 games, they lost to Texarkana, Pleasant Grove, Wichita Falls, Hershey, and Wimberley.
Yes.
Those 3 teams are ranked 6th, 7th, and 8th in the state in 4AD2, the classification higher than Whitesboro and Brock. And then their 4th loss was merely to Gunner, the number 1 team in the state in 3AD2, the one, half a peg lower than Whitesboro and Brock's 3A Division 1. So 4 outstanding football teams, and they were in every one of those games. Cody Fagan from Whitesboro even said, you give anybody across the state that schedule, they're going 0-4.
Yeah, Coach Mathis knows he's not going to make this a cookie cutter. But they don't have any preseasons in high school, but that's
right.
Pretty much what it is. And they're playing all tough opposition. They're not going with the least in 3A. They're going up a whole division and going against some really tough opponents.
3rd down and 10 after 2 plays that didn't lead to much. Throw on the far side, juggled, eventually caught by Hermes, but he's going to be short of the line to gain. It's going to be 4th down and about 3, and it looks like Whitesboro's going to have to punt it away here.
They're keeping their offense on the field.
They do. I mean, Harper is their quarterback and their punter,
you're right.
and they do quick kick it some, so that, I wonder. But now are they going to say that was incomplete? There is a flag on the near side.
Okay.
Interesting that Brock elected to accept that penalty.
Right.
Would have been 4th down and 3 or 4. Instead, he gives the down back here to Whitesboro to perhaps pick up the 1st down on what will be 3rd down at about 15.
Yeah, definitely interesting there, but I think the way that this Eagles defense has been playing so far, you want to trust them. They've given up the big yardage, obviously on that one play to Grayson Ledbetter.
Three wides to the top of the formation here for Harper. Over the middle, in and out of the hands of an open man Sluter, and incomplete, and nearly also intercepted by Cannon Stevens. He felt like he really had a chance at it.
And Carter Sluter, this is a ball he should catch, but he's hearing footsteps.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it. Yeah.
That's called alligator arms right there. You pull, arms just get a little bit shorter on a pass like that.
But just to go back to that Brock start to the season, as Whitesboro gets set to punt the football away here. But now a timeout called by Whitesboro. 2:47 on the clock here in the second quarter. Mathis said, listen, it was a gauntlet, but we're farther along now because of those games. If we had just beaten a bunch of teams 50-0, we wouldn't know a whole lot about our football team. Those 4 games gave them the opportunity to diagnose. Here are our weaknesses. Here are the things we're doing wrong. Here's how we're going to be better as a football team. And now here they are against really the one team that has a chance to beat them in district this year. And they've got a 20-15 lead here in the second quarter. I mean, they had to be ready for this moment and for the playoffs. Those 4 games prepared them.
Hey, and you've heard it before. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. That's Ric Flair, right? I'm not going to do the woo at the end of it. But that's what happens when you want to be good and you get a preseason like that. Early opposition that's going to test you. They had an opportunity to diagnose this team. I mean, you go through, you look at your blocking schemes, you see where your deficiencies are on defense, because they know that once they get into the playoffs, man, they're going to have some opposition that's going to be ready for them.
Harper came out in shotgun, but now backs up into a punt formation. A wobbly left-footed punt out the near side, and that, I'm not even sure if that's going to get past where the line to gain was. They may have been better off to go for it.
Oh, that was a shank for sure. Right off the side of the foot.
Nearly a nice catch of the near sideline by a young man who may be a Brock Eagle in some years' time. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Brock offense at the 38-yard line, which was the line to gain on that previous set of downs for Whitesboro. So an unfortunate punt there for the Bearcats offense. And here comes Tyler Moody and company, already up 5 and looking for more. 3 wides to the top of the formation, handoff near side for Reed Watkins. He runs into a wall. And again, it's Isaiah Chappelle that is leading the charge.
Let's just say he ran into Dave, okay? Let's leave it at that. Everybody out there knows who number 62 is. Every time the runner just stops abruptly, 62 has something to do with it. Gosh. My God, man. Yeah, it's a lot of Pop-Tarts being eaten in that house, man. Tell you what, it's good eating right there, Dave. I know it. I'm the same way.
Hey, I love me some Pop-Tarts, man. 2nd down and 9. Officially, they gave him a yard on the play. Handoff, Watkins again, running left side. Cuts up field, nice cut across the 30-yard line. Running the ladder to the outside, he'll have the first down.
He's just so smooth. And he's sudden. Look at his short area quickness. He doesn't make a whole lot of moves. Just one cut and go. I mean, he is stabbing on those steps and getting right back up the field. That's a great first down pickup by number 25, Reed Watkins.
He's already got 2 touchdowns on the night. And he's in the backfield to the left of Moody here on 1st and 10. Down to $1:30 and moving here in the second quarter. Brock still with all 3 timeouts remaining. Handoff, Watkins again. Sidesteps a tackler in the backfield. Picks up 3 on the play.
I mean, even right there, that's a tackle for a loss by most running backs. And his ability to just jab step and get back out inside and not lose yardage. That's a good job by Watkins.
2nd down and 7 now. Watkins motions out into an empty set. Moody. Flush to the near side, being chased by Chappelle. Fires, end zone wide open. Touchdown, Reed Watkins. His 3rd touchdown of the day.
And they just lost count of number 25. He runs a wheel route on the outside where he comes underneath in motion and sneaks behind the safeties. And before they recognize it, 25 is in the end zone. And that's a big touchdown to close out this first half for the Brock Eagles.
A chance to pull the double surrounding halftime because Brock has the football to start the third quarter. A huge sequence there for the Brock Eagles. The extra point is up and through off the foot of Tyler Moody, the quarterback, but it's Moody that found Watkins for the touchdown, and it's 27-15. The Brock Eagles taking advantage of the short field. Moody rolling out and finding a wide open running back in the end zone. Watkins with his third score of the night, and Brock up 2 scores late second quarter. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff.
Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A as Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus. "22 yards from Tyler Moody to Reed Watkins, and the Brock Eagles, who went 15-1 and went all the way to the state championship game a year ago, lead at 27-15 as we approach halftime here on Friday Night Football. Heckma Harrison, we expected this game to be a battle. It has been, but a really key sequence here late in this second quarter for Brock to create some separation before halftime.
No, offensively, they've done a really good job of setting up their blockers in this running game. It's just been doing it. I mean, they're really balanced is the word that I'm looking for, and I think at a certain point, this Bearcats defense is just off balance from all the things that they're throwing at them.
Gavin Brown called for the fair catch there, and Dakota Courtney came running into him. That's going to draw a 15-yard penalty every time for kick-catch interference. It wasn't a malicious play by any means, but you still can't make contact with him. They're going to take.
It's been blocked into him.
Oh, okay. Good clarification there from Rob Jasper that he was blocked into Gavin Brown, so they will pick the flag up, and the ball will stay at the 38-yard line. Yeah, you can see a little bit of contact there from Colton Vogie. And immediately, actually, it was Zach Brewster that was pointing to Vogie, saying, whoa, before you throw that flag. He was blocked into him, and our 7-man officiating crew from the Fort Worth Football Officials Association gathered up and decided that Zach Brewster was correct. Their 8th official helped them out, and they pick up the flag. Harper being chased from behind, fires downfield, throws it away, out of bounds. 41 seconds left here in the second quarter. Whitesboro with 2 timeouts, and they do not feel like they've got a lot in the way of field goal range, so they're going to have to go a long ways here to find points in a short period of time.
Yeah, and want to point out that number 2, Zach Brewster's back on the field after going out on that vicious hit on the sideline.
Yeah.
So I was complaining about his ankle, but doesn't look to have any residual from that injury as he's moving around pretty fine. Saw him run out into the flat and cover a receiver. Right now, this Bearcats squad has got to try and figure out a way to close out this first half and maybe get some points on the board.
Harper, pressure, throws it away once again as he had yet again Cam Harris in his face. They're going to say he was outside the tackle box. No flag for intentional grounding, but it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
No matter what they do at halftime, they've got to figure out a way to get Grayson Ledbetter more involved in this game. His running is really what's going to help them slow this game down and take this offense for the Eagles off of the field. And I think they're going so quick, it's not allowing these guys to get their defense any rest.
3rd down and 10. They're going to fake it to him. They tried to set up the screen, but there was nobody home. I don't know who the screen was supposed to go to.
Yeah,
there was no intended receiver anywhere near, and the officials are, I think, gathering up to decide whether or not this should be intentional grounding.
Absolutely, it should.
It looks like they're going to leave it as is. It's going to be 4th down and 10, and with 32 seconds left, now they do throw the flag.
Yeah, you have to. You throw it at the feet.
There was nobody there.
Yeah, unless you're.
There was no receiver in the area. Intentional grounding. Spot foul. Lost it down.
The only thing he had was his lineman over there, and that's Connor Markham and Jacob Castillo, and those guys are not eligible receivers.
You see Cody Fagan motioning to his team right now. He just called timeout, and I think there was some confusion from his offense about whether or not they called timeout. Or perhaps the confusion was from Rob Jasper. Because, yeah, I think that's exactly what it was. And I think Jasper said, you want to call timeout? And I was reading Fagan's lips. He said, yeah, I called timeout because I want to talk to you. And now they're having a conversation.
Yeah, a very spirited conversation at that. But that was intentional grounding. Just think about that drive, though. They did not, I believe maybe a minute 30 came off the clock in that one drive. So you turn right back around. You're about to give the Eagles the ball. I believe they have their timeouts in 32 seconds.
They have all 3 timeouts. They have 32 seconds on the clock. They also do not have their kicker, Brody Baker, who's got range into the 40s. He's hurt this week. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury, so he's not available this week. And that dramatically impacts their field goal range with Tyler Moody or Dylan Foster kicking field goals, kicking PATs. A much better punt this time around from Mac Harper that's going to bound inside the 20 and pretty much make the decision for Billy Mathis as far as what the last 20-something seconds of this half are going to look like. Clock ticks all the way down to 16 seconds remaining here in the opening half. You mentioned Zach Brewster back on the football field. Good to see him back healthy and playing after he took that big hit. He is the grandson of one of the real staples out here in Parker County, a gentleman by the name of Terry Brewster, who has been instrumental in really Brock having a football program in the first place. He was here when they began the program back in 2011, 2012, 2013, when they were first getting this program off the ground, and he is still an assistant coach here now. And Coach Mathis said that Zach always refers to him as Coach Brewster when they're in practice or when they're on the football field. He said, but every once in a while you hear him break out a pawpaw whenever they're doing anything other than being on the football field. They will hand it to Reed Watkins here on what figures to be the final play of the opening half.
Now, we've seen some father-son combinations, but never grandfather-grandson combinations as this first half comes to a close. But, boy, this has been a matchup that has lived up to the billing, the way that these two teams have played. And Zach Brewster's had a big part to play in this as well. I mean, hey, we've highlighted players, man, but these unsung guys, man, have come in and they've played a big role. This offensive line right now for the Eagles, hard to deal with, and if you're the Bearcats, they're going to have to find a way to gain some ground in their running game because they hadn't had much of one. And so I think that's the one thing that's surprising to me is that the Bearcats have completely neglected their running.
Yeah. Brock has not, and you mentioned the biggins in front. They have cleared the path for Reed Watkins. 2 rushing touchdowns for Watkins, 2 passing touchdowns for Tyler Moody, and Brock leads it at halftime, 27-15 over Whitesboro on Friday Night Football. When we return, the halftime show here from Brock's Eagle Stadium. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff.
Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A is Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus.
In a world filled with motion, we are the constant. Filled with storms, we are the calm. Filled with uncertainty, we are reassurance. We bring the truth. We bring hope, conviction, a legacy of grit, determination, honesty, and relevant reporting that doesn't just inform, but inspires. We are WFAA.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Yolitics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas. So each week we invite on change makers for cold beer and candid conversations into the issues really affecting Texans.
Yeah, and we're bringing in diverse viewpoints so you get to listen and really understand.
This is solid information and a deep dive you're not going to get anywhere else.
Not to brag,
But just to brag a little bit.
okay, a little. We've been trending and making headlines.
Plus, we have more than 1 million downloads.
And still counting.
Sometimes parties can tend to go on slightly longer than planned. For Izzy, that's not a problem at all, since she can now catch the 4, 5, 6, or even 10 p.m. newscasts after they air on the new WFAA+. Party on, kids. Are you a consummate multitasker like Chris Lawrence? Cooking, well, attempting. Dinner for the family while also craving a dose of news? Now you can chop and cook while still tuning in to any live newscast on the new WFAA+.
Your essential local news and weather for free. The WFAA mobile app. Download now.
As we welcome you back to Eagle Stadium in Brock here on Friday Night Football, it is halftime. The Brock Eagles with a 27-15 lead over the Whitesboro Bearcats. 2 Tyler Moody touchdown passes, 2 Reed Watkins touchdown runs. Watkins actually caught one of Moody's touchdown passes as well for the 27 Brock Eagles points. Whitesboro with a touchdown run each from Mac Harper and Grayson Ledbetter, and it's 27-15. At the break. But it is halftime here at Eagle Stadium, which means it's time for the show from both teams' bands. First up, the Whitesboro Bearcats band under the direction of Charles Gardner. We hope you enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Whitesboro High School is proud to present for your halftime entertainment, the Bearcat Band. The band will perform tonight a portion of our 2022 show entitled Rise. The band is led on the field by drum majors Jeremiah Dalton and Olivia Hildebrand. The band is under the direction of Charles Gardner, Austin Nessler, and Aranka Barbe, with assistance from Allie Mitchell. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Whitesboro, the Bearcat Band.
A fantastic show from the Bearcat Band from Whitesboro High School under the direction of Charles Gardner. Next up, they call them the Mob, the music of Brock, the Brock Band and Color Guard. Matt Daly, their band director. We hope you enjoy their show, which begins right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the field, where the 2022 Music of Brock High School Marching Band, under the field direction of drum majors Ben Lindley, Abby Ash, and Jennifer Lightly, proudly present American Dream, a custom-arranged musical and visual production saluting our wonderful country and community of Brock, Texas. This year's show features original selections composed and arranged exclusively for the Mob by Luke McMillan Music, using Thomas Ferguson's American Dream, John Lindber's Country Roads, and My Country 'Tis of Thee, written by Samuel Francis Smith. Tonight's show includes all the selections for this year's show, featuring soloists Brady Dietz, Annie Nash, and Janica Whiteley. Tonight we hope you enjoy the Mob's performance of American Dream. linebackers Matt Daly, Audrey Calcote, and Megan Massey. The color guard is directed by Cleta Burns. They would also like to thank our two part-time helpers of extreme experience, Mr. Willard and Mr. Harden. The band wants to recognize our members for their hard work and dedication, as it's paid off by taking most outstanding in class at 3A at the Whitesboro Marching Contest, September 24th. They also won overall champion at Dublin Marching Contest, October 1st, along with winning several other mentions, including Best Brass, Best Color Guard, and Best 3A Band. The band also performed this last Saturday at the Bands of America Championships at HEB, Springfield Field, earning 3rd place in Class A. Way to go, Mom! They travel to Springtown tomorrow for UIO's regional contest, performing at 3:30, where they hope to earn a 6th consecutive Division I and advance to area marching contest at Waco Robinson, October 22nd. The Mob would like to thank the Whitesboro High School Band and their director, Charles Gardner, for being our guests at tonight's game. We wish them success throughout the 2022 contest season. Both bands would like to thank administration, faculty,
As we welcome you inside the broadcast booth here on Friday Night Football, back in Parker County for the second half between Whitesboro and Brock. 27-15, our halftime score, Heckma Harrison, and we see the Brock Eagles coming back on the football field right now. They've got 4 touchdowns on the board, courtesy of Reed Watkins and Tyler Moody. They've really done some good things here in the first half offensively.
They really have. Their offensive line, man, has been putting in work. Really shocked right now at the way that the Bearcats have been trying to defend these guys. I mean, they've had a lot of things happen behind them. They hadn't been very good in coverage. But the other thing is, man, I think the Bearcats have forgotten all about their rushing attack, and that's something that they're going to have to get going here in the second half if they want to pull out a victory.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Akeem Leviston, the offensive coordinator from Whitesboro, you've got to stay in touch with your game plan. And I feel like that game plan probably needs to include more Grayson Ledbetter in the second half. But a big part of being able to do that is going to have to include a stop here on the first possession of the second half for the Brock Eagles. They're already up 2 scores, and you see Billy Mathis talking to his team right now. You can't let them go down and get 7 points right now, because now if that happens, then your game plan does start to go out the window a little bit, and you do have to start chucking the ball around the yard a little bit more. They need to come out and get a stop defensively first.
No, and they knew how important that was after they lost the coin toss and realized that they're going to have to, essentially kick this ball off to Brock. So it's going to be very important for these guys to get a stop, like you said, but not only that, the way that this game is going, I look for the Bearcats to try and slow down a little bit on offense. They've been going with a quicker set, and when they go 3 and out, they're just hanging their defense out to dry. So slow the ball down, get behind your running game, and I think that'll be more beneficial to these guys in the second half.
You notice that Brock has their entire kickoff coverage team very close to the line of scrimmage. They were expecting that fake of an onside kick there from Sterling Garton and the Bearcats kickoff team. Now they back off into a more traditional set, but I still wonder what Garton's going to do here. The thought crossed my mind maybe they would try and surprise him with an onside, but he does squib it right up the middle. From his own 25, here comes Reed Watkins bending back to his own 22 and hounded there. Well covered, and it's Garton, the kicker, who's also, of course, their all-state middle linebacker, who finishes them off as they back him up to the 22-yard line there on the return.
Sterling Garton, if there's any bright spot, man, Sterling Garton's had himself a pretty good game from the linebacker position. Him and Isaiah Chappelle, Dave, as we've been calling him in the first half. Those are the bright spots on the defensive side of the ball, but they've got to find a way to get some more turnovers. Kaysen Williams did a good job of getting a turnover in that first quarter that you said it was Christmas in Parker County. So they got to get back to those gift-giving ways.
Look at this run from Tyler Moody. Watch this play again. He is dead to rights in the backfield, makes a guy miss, spins away. Whoop.
Yeah, and completely.
Man.
He knows that he has a guy that's trying to get a hand on him, and he spins right out of that. That's a good job by Tyler Moody, who has come up big a lot of times for the Brock Eagles. We saw it on the spin pitch. We saw him throw a ball on his 3rd read in the back of the end zone, man. The senior is doing it all right now for the Eagles.
Second-team All-State quarterback in 3A a year ago. Back for his senior year. And making plays tonight. This time he's going to keep it himself off the read. Spins out of a tackle once again, but swarmed after a gain of about 3. Give you a look at the history of this Brock football program. They didn't actually field a varsity football team until 2012, played 2 varsity games in 2012. Their first full season was 2013. Since then, success on top of success on top of success on top of success on top of success. I mean, oh my goodness, have they been a really good program right from the word go, including a state title in 2015, 2 other trips to the state championship game. They've been sensational, Heckma, and this year, despite the 0-4 start, they are still very clearly a state championship contender in 3A Division I. Handoff here to Tutter. Flag flies in, actually hit Tutter as he came across the line to gain. We'll see if that's a hold that's going to bring all this back.
So you mean to tell me that 115 to 19 all-time was not a typo for Brock?
So here, pull that back up if you would, Clay, our graphic there from a moment ago. 115 and 19. It's actually 117 and 19 because I was told earlier today those 2 wins from that 2012 season were varsity wins. So it's actually 117 and 19 all time.
So it is a typo.
Yes, on some level, yes.
Okay. Unbelievable. Man, that's a whole lot of winning in a short period of time.
Yeah.
If you're a Brock Eagle, so this program is known nothing but winning. And as you can tell, man, they faced some adversity in this game, but they have come out.
Nearly intercepted right there. Oh man, did Matthew Riddles ever see pay dirt in front of him?
Yeah, that's I believe that's number 8.
Yes, you're right. It's Parker, not Riddles.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, Max Parker. That was another gift in his hands. The junior would be celebrating right now. It may get you uninvited to the Peanut Festival. you don't want to do that too many times.
This is a chance, though, here for this Whitesboro defense to get off the field. Motion man is Brewster, 3 wides to the near side for Moody. Pump and go over the middle behind his target and incomplete. He had Jet Jones. A little miscommunication as to whether he was going to settle down in the zone or keep moving across the middle. It's incomplete and it's 4th down.
And those two have had a really good connection this entire game. So really shocked to see Jet, who's really sure-handed, drop a ball for the first down. And they send the punt team on, and that's a good job right there by the Bearcats. We were talking about coming back from half, what they needed to do. They needed to get a stop. Now they need to take it a step further and get points.
Moody, the quarterback, on to punt it away. Booming kick up the near side. Fair catch called for and made by Jay Sanders as he stumbles down to his own 15-yard line. And out comes this Whitesboro offense. Another look at a very nice punt from Tyler Moody high into the Brock night sky. Nice camera work from Graham Rainier and Guy Opper tonight up on top of the press box doing some work for us here on Friday Night Football.
That's one that Jay Sanders maybe wants to try and run. He had some room there.
Yeah.
Beforehand. Again, it was a booming kick. It went up, high in the air. It does a good job of fielding the kick, but had an opportunity to make a play. They need all hands on deck as far as making plays for this Bearcats offense.
So now where do they go offensively? Quick throw far side, making a man miss, and getting to the outside is Jay Sanders. Pickup of 6 or 7 on the first play of the set.
Well, Jay Sanders probably is saying to himself, I don't want to catch this ball. I've had a situation happen before where I have Cale Bramlett.
Oh, that was Donaldson, though.
Was that Donaldson?
That was Donaldson that caught a face full of Cale Bramlett, yeah.
That may want to be one of those plays you want to take out of the playbook.
And a quick timeout here called by Billy Mathis.
What could he obviously saw something that he did not like, calling that timeout.
So as Brock calls timeout, this Whitesboro football team, they have been building Heckma to this point. This senior class, 18 seniors in this class, 11 of these kids were starting as sophomores, and their head coach, Cody Fagan, said, hey, we've been pointing to this bunch really for a number of years. They took some lumps that sophomore year for these kids back in 2020. They went 4-6 that year, but they knew there was a point. There was a method to the madness that they were building to this point.
Yeah, Cody Fagan, we have so many opportunities throughout the week to talk to some phenomenal coaches.
Yeah.
And his motto, Burrow, tough, and his guys, that he's like, look, man, we know for sure that we have the right group of guys this year. Mm-hmm. And this senior group, they are not letting up, and they are determined to get back to the big stage. And they think it all starts by getting the victory here tonight.
2nd down and 4 out of the timeout. Handoff up the middle here for Ledbetter. Give him maybe a yard or two on the play. I loved the quote from Coach Fagan. He said, listen, they did take some lumps during that time frame. He said, we purposely did that early on in that in their time here. He said, but they trusted the process, and they knew that at some point they're going to have a successful senior season as a result. That is a terrific catch on the far sideline by Clay Hermes. He's a junior, but he said, hey, fellas, I can help y'all make some plays too. Nice ball here from Mac Harper, and look at this grab. Whew. Knees down.
It gets his hands under it. How about that? It's all hands catch.
That's a special grab by the junior wide receiver, Clay Hermes, and it helps move the chains on 3rd down and short. But he said, hey, if you guys work your butt off these few years, trust it, it's going to pay off with a phenomenal senior campaign. And he said, they're in it and they're living it right now. I loved that finish of the quote. They're in it and they're living it right now. And you can see it in the way that these kids move around. They came into today feeling like, hey, we're going to go shock the state and win at Brock.
Well, they have a point to prove. They point to prove. They lost twice to the squad last year, and they understand that although Brock was 0-4 in the beginning of the season, they recognized the opposition that they were playing against. So by no means are they underestimating the strength of this team. As
pump and go behind the defense is Sluter, and he hauls it in. But then it was ripped away. Was that taken? No, they're going to say it's going to stay Whitesboro football. I think they're going to say he was out of bounds. Now the line judge is coming in. They're going to talk this over. What's going to be the ruling here?
We have a debate going on.
It looks like it's going to stay Whitesboro football. Sluter hauled it in.
Oh, he's out of bounds.
And then it was stripped out. They're going to say the fumble, and then I guess they're going to say that he was still contacting the football when he was out of bounds. If we can try and save that replay, we're going to try and come back to that if we can. That's going to deserve another look here. But quickly back to the line is this Whitesboro offense. Handoff Ledbetter up the middle and into the pile. Can we go back and look at that one more time? So here comes the play once again. The pump and go. He hits Sluter up the near sideline. One, was this actually a catch? I think it was correctly ruled a catch.
Look at that.
So it gets punched out.
Yeah.
So go ahead and let that run,
Catch,
Clay.
Punch out. Ball's out.
But then where is it? So he's out of bounds before that ball is recovered. So that really is ultimately, I think, the correct ruling. That looked like he had it for long enough that it's a catch, punched down as a fumble, and then contacted by someone who was out of bounds. In fact, both players that were contacting the football were out of bounds. I think ultimately that is correctly called to still be Whitesboro football. Sanders with the carry here on the jet motion doesn't get much, maybe a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8.
Well, they don't get the benefit of replay, and thankfully they got it right on the field.
Michael Tomlin, the field judge, was right there to see it all. And because again, you're right, they don't get the benefit of replay and the slow-mo and all of that. And he was right on top of it and nailed the call immediately. No hesitation, said Whitesboro football. Really good job by Rob Jasper and his crew, including their field judge, Michael Tomlin. That was very, very well done. 3rd down and 8, though, now after 2 plays that didn't do much. Harper, with time, has a man near side as a bailout, finally finds him. It's Donaldson. Donaldson up the sideline, inside the 10. That's going to be enough to move the chains. It's going to be 1st and goal. There is a flag on the play. Is this going to be an illegal man downfield?
I believe that's what they have.
Although, did the pass go past the line of scrimmage? I'm not sure that it did. Everybody's moving backward.
We had a number 20 that was covered up on the play.
That's the problem. Donaldson wasn't an eligible receiver on the play.
Wow, what a technicality. You do not want to have a play like that eliminated because the man's not covered.
What could have been a huge first down, and you see the flag drop right at his feet as he caught that pass. It should be.
Should still be.
Should it still be third down?
Yeah, I don't think that's a loss of down.
I think it should still be third down and 14. That's not a loss of down penalty, but the far side sticks as fourth down. We'll see what the officials say. Harper over the middle on a rope to the end zone, and he caught it. Brett Donaldson on his back in the end zone for 6. He says, I don't care what down it is. I'm going to the end zone.
He says, cover that, basically. I'm going to catch this on my back, and he's still flexing.
They go swinging gate again for a moment, but then come set for the extra point. Garton, the kicker. High snap, they get it down. And the PAT is up and through, and Whitesboro does exactly what they needed to do to begin the half, a defensive stop, and then Mac Harper, the All-State QB, over the middle for the touchdown. Donaldson on the receiving end, and it's a 5-point game, early third on Friday Night Football. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff.
Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A as Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus. Mac Harper and Brett Donaldson hooked up for the third down completion that we thought was going to set up first and goal. Gets wiped out by the penalty, and they say, no matter, we're going to put it up top in the end zone and make this a 5-point football game. Midway through the third quarter, Heckma Harrison. Now it's game on.
Now, definitely. And for the Bearcats, impressive drive by these guys. They continue to get those first downs, and it all came from Clay Hermans making that play on the sideline, keep the chains moving. But, man, what a catch by Brett Donaldson, a guy that got decleated to start this game.
Yeah.
Catches the ball on his back in the end zone. And, man, the concentration that you have to have, and also Mac Harper, the throw, and the confidence to make that throw as well, and that was awesome.
It's a 25-yard hookup from Harper to Donaldson, and it is a 5-point football game. That was a drone you just saw on your screen. The officials are trying to get rid of the drone. I promise you that is not a Channel 8 drone, just for the record. That's not ours, guys.
The kind of problems you have in 2022.
Yeah, right?
They're going to blame it on you, Mike, some kind of way.
Oh, man. Shannon Hart, the PA guy here in the booth, says it's probably some third grader flying the drone overhead. He's probably spot on.
And boy, is he in trouble.
It's honestly the likelier candidate, if he lived anywhere close to here, would be my little brother. He loves play. I got a younger brother, about 6 years younger than me, and there it is again. Maybe is that flying away from us, it seems? Maybe he's trying to get away? Anyway, they've cleared the airspace, and now they do kick it off on the surprise, right over the head of the Brock coverage team. Racing back down inside the 5 is Watkins. He's got trouble trying to stiff arm his way away, and he will not get away from this Whitesboro coverage team. They surprised him with the kickoff, and that's going to pin this Brock offense deep in their own territory.
And look who's speeding down there to go and get him. Number 3, the guy that just caught the touchdown, Brett Donaldson, and said, I'm going to get some payback for that tackle that I took earlier. Not only am I going to score a touchdown, but I'm going to pin you guys deep in your territory. That's good for the Bearcats that have come out from halftime motivated. They've made some adjustments, and I think it's just aggression.
I don't know what Cody Fagan said to these kids at halftime, but it clicked. 1st and 10 at their own 7-yard line here for Tyler Moody and company. Standing with his heels inside his own 2-yard line. Rolling near side, running the option. Then he pitches it. That's loose. Diving on it was Watkins. It will stay Brock football. That was super dangerous.
How many times have we seen Tyler Moody make a great decision and not pitch that ball? Man, that is disaster averted right there. The ball goes out of bounds.
Max Parker was hunting that football. It would have been 1st and goal Bearcats if he could have pounced on top of that. Believe it or not, that gained half a yard. It'll be 2nd down and a little more than 9. Moody looking left, complete. Hits Finney for a few. Out to the 11-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 6.
And for this Bearcats defense, they came out, bowled up, forced a punt. If they get another punt and the ability to go back on offense, man, this is just going to be momentum shift to their side.
They've got to get to the 17-yard line to pick up a 1st down here. 3rd down and 6. Moody in shotgun, Watkins to his left. And now it's going to be a false start. That's how loud it is here, despite it only being a 2250 capacity stadium. They fired off the line on the far side. I think that was Jackson Hart, the tight end, that was the guilty party. And he was 5 yards downfield still blocking before he realized that he had jumped off with a false start.
5 yards.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a little more than offsides when you're 5 yards down the field and you still don't realize that the play had started. So
goes down as a 5-yard penalty. 3rd and 6 becomes 3rd and 11. Not quite half the distance to the goal line as the ball was just outside the 10, close to the 11. Now it sits between the 5 and the 6. Again, they've got to get to the 17 for a 1st down. Past the midway point of this 3rd quarter. And this feels like a little bit of danger zone for the Brock Eagles. Moody with 3 wides to the near side. Looks far side. Knocked away. He was looking for Jet Jones. There were 3 Bearcats in the area, and it's incomplete.
Boy, lucky to get out of that one is Tyler Moody, because Blake Happick was right there. From his defensive end position, he backed up in coverage, and I don't think that Tyler Moody recognized that he had the defensive end standing in that zone. And that's another good job by this Bearcats defense, making some adjustments at halftime, but I think confusing Tyler Moody.
So now Moody punting from his own end zone. Got a good foot on it. From his own 45, hit immediately was Jay Sanders. He held on to a good coverage from this Brock coverage team, led by Dylan Foster.
And that's just a good job of hanging on to it personally by Jay Sanders. He has a guy coming right in his face, and maybe he thought before from that last booming kick he had an opportunity to make a play on it, but good job holding on to it.
Beg your pardon, Cannon Stevens, 12, not 21, making the play. But here come the Whitesboro Bearcats and the offense led by All-Stater Mac Harper. Down by 5, but beginning the possession in plus territory at the 46. Harper with Ledbetter to his right. Blitz coming off the edge, right in the face of Harper, and he has to throw it away.
I'll tell you what, he sees Brewster coming on that blitz from the outside, and he has no one blocking him. That's a great decision by Mac Harper. Otherwise, he's going to lose about 10 yards if Brewster's able to get that sack.
You can feel Eagle Stadium rattling right now with these fans. Hand up the middle, there goes Ledbetter. Ledbetter cuts across the 30. Ledbetter with a lead blocker out in front. Grayson Ledbetter to the house, and Whitesboro has the lead. 46 yards for Grayson Ledbetter, his second runaway touchdown of the day.
And telling you, number 4, Grayson Ledbetter looks like a Humvee coming through that offensive line. No one wants to put a hand on this guy, and he is running past defenders into the end zone. This is what Coach Fagan was talking about, this moment right here.
Swinging gate again, this time to no avail as Harper is taken down. 28-27. The Whitesboro Bearcats lead by 1 as Grayson Ledbetter for the second time today with a house call. Bearcats in front, mid-third quarter.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Y'all-itics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas.
So each week we invite on change makers for cold beer and candid conversations into the issues really affecting Texans.
Yeah, and we're bringing in diverse viewpoints so you get to listen and really understand.
This is solid information and a deep dive you're not going to get anywhere else.
Not to brag,
But just to brag a little bit.
okay, a little. We've been trending and making headlines.
Plus, we have more than 1 million downloads.
And still counting.
Grayson Ledbetter with a 46-yard touchdown run. And the Whitesboro Bearcats lead it by a point with 4:41 to play here in the third quarter. And heck, I can't help but wonder, and we were talking about this just a moment ago here in the booth, how do you not give the ball to Grayson Ledbetter every single play?
Hey, I've made a request.
I know.
I've made a personal request to get him the ball, but, you know, I don't know. I think that Coach Fagan has obviously made some adjustments at halftime, and one of them was to get behind Grayson Ledbetter. And it's going to be important. And you saw him also slow it down a bit as well. They didn't go so quick on offense. So they're taking their time. They're getting into their offensive set. But I think right now you're starting to see them lean on this Eagle squad a little bit as you saw them bust through with Grayson Ledbetter right there.
The one thought that I have, the one possible reason here, as you saw the penalty on the kickoff, so it's going to be good field position here for Brock as they try to now respond to these 2 quick scores from Whitesboro here in the third quarter. The one thought that I have that may be part of why they're not turning around and handing the ball off to number 4 play after play after play, Brock's got some bodies up front. They've got a very good defensive line, a very good offensive line. And I wonder if Cody Fagan thinks, all right, we can't just bang with these guys for 48 minutes. That may not be the smartest play. Maybe that's the thought process. I don't know. But it's the one thing that makes me wonder, maybe that's why they're not just continually giving the ball as they throw it over the middle there, incomplete, short of the intended target, Carson Finney. Maybe that's the one possible reason.
And let me tell you why I disagree with that, Mike. And it's because when we talk with Coach Fagan, his number one thing was this senior group that we have, these guys have worked so hard in the offseason, so hard in the weight room. They live for this moment, actually. Yeah. I mean, if you go far and deep in the playoffs, you're going to have bigger teams. And so you want to, if you're the Bearcats, prove that, look, we are tough enough to get through this. And this is that moment. Mm-hmm. And you can tell whatever you ask yourself, what did he say to them at halftime? He's probably told these guys, look, to all the seniors, look at each other, guys. You worked for this moment. Don't let this pass you. Yeah. And you see these guys respond in kind.
They're responding here defensively as well. Ball in the hands of Moody as they ran the option there. He decided to keep it himself, but 4 or 5 white jerseys there to greet him, and it's going to be 3rd down and 7.
And sometimes I just thought that the Bearcats initially in that first quarter, they were just kind of sleepwalking through everything. They were letting the Eagles come right to them and bring the aggression to them. They come out and they've responded themselves. So love to see it. Like you said, man, game is on.
3rd down and 7. You can feel the momentum even here in Brock kind of shifting. They try and set up the screen. Here goes Carson Finney. Breaks a tackle. Finney across midfield, and that's going to be enough to move the chains. Perfect timing for that play call from Blake Christensen.
I tell you what, that is excellent play design because he has everybody looking over here to the right, and then Finney comes back underneath. The receiver's going to the outside. That's, like I said, that's a great play design and a good way to get your playmaker, Carson Finney, out in space.
1st and 10, ball just across the midfield stripe at the 49 in Whitesboro territory. Handoff Tutter. Hammered by Garton, but not before he picks up 5.
Yeah, like I said, Garton's been playing his tail off from his linebacker position, and that is a wallop tackle by number 7, Sterling Garton.
Approaching 800 of you with us right now on the WFA YouTube channel. Again, please hit the like button, click the subscribe button, and please share this feed around with your friends and family in the Brock community, in the Whitesboro community, in the Texas high school football community at large. We got ourselves a banger of a football game right now. 28-27 here in the 3rd quarter. There goes Tyler Moody. Foot in the ground, cuts up field. He's got a 1st down. And Brock starting to build a little bit back here, Heckma Harrison, as they're now inside the 30-yard line.
And all of that was set up by number 2, Zach Brewster. These are blocks that's not going to make the stat sheet, but when you have your fullback or H-back getting out and blocking in space like that, boy, that's going to make a difference.
Beg your pardon, inside the 35. They spot him at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. 2 minutes to play here, 3rd quarter. Around this time back in December, it was 42-0 Brock. Very different football game tonight. Handoff Watkins up the middle. Give him 4.
Like we have a player down here, an offensive lineman. Get a number 77, I believe.
It's Trace Roger, their 2A starter at center and defensive tackle. It's part of their all-state golf team as well.
Excuse me?
Yes. He was part of their state championship golf team. This is what they do out here in Brock. 1, they win a whole lot of state championships. 2, it's 3A football, it's 3A sports. This is the case for Whitesboro and for Brock. These kids are playing a lot of different sports. They're playing football, they're playing basketball, they're playing baseball. Some of them are playing golf, some of them are wrestling. I mean, this is what they do in 3A sports, man. It's high school sports back to its roots.
You know, a lot of times I look at kids on the field and I say, you know, they have him listed at 6'4", and I'm like, that's 6'2". If this is a kid that 6'4", I'm looking at him and saying, like, he's 6'5", right? And you're telling me that he's a golfer. And, wow.
I'll bet you he tears the cover off the ball. Good bit of sportsmanship there between he and Max Parker. Good to see him walking off under his own power, but with a bit of a limp there on that right leg. On to replace him at center is Ethan Brooks, a sophomore. Brock has been able to move the football on the ground all night. Trace Roger, one of the leaders of that 5-man offensive line unit. You can't help but wonder, how does this look without him out there? 2nd down and 5, handoff Watkins.
And that's what's so tough about this backfield. They switch it up between Reed Watkins and Brett Tutter. And so Tutter is such a change of pace, a lot quicker. And then Reed Watkins is so smooth. He's a one-cut guy, but definitely a power back, a guy that's going to carry the power with him as well.
3rd down and 3. Down to a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter. Do stick with us on WFA tonight at 10:15 as part of the WFA News at 10. We'll have high school game night as another fall start here And it's that left side of the offensive line. It seems like every time Jackson Hart as well as Brock Riker, that group, for whatever reason, there's some miscommunication with that group, and they've been firing off just that sometimes a half beat early, sometimes now twice on this drive in the last recent stretch. Way early.
And those are drive killers, man. It's so hard to overcome those. And, credit to this Eagles offense. They've done a good job of overcoming those self-inflicted wounds and penalties that they've got by getting the big plays, but sometimes those big plays come at a premium, especially in the second half.
Brock down by 1, 3rd and 8. Moody firing right side, complete. Stevens, Finney, he's out of bounds. He's got a first down inside the 20-yard line.
Like I said, they've done a good job of overcoming that, and they come right back and pick up that first down.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. 38 seconds here in the third quarter. Whitesboro has all the points here in the second half. Brock trying to change that. Handoff Watkins. Garton pulled him down from behind.
Well, this is going to be a big-time fourth quarter coming up. It's going to be who wants it. And right now with the Brock Eagles, they are just getting back behind this running game and pounding this Bearcats defense out. They're going to have to bow up and try and get a stop because this fourth quarter is going to be big.
Final snap of the period. Moody firing right side, tipped and incomplete. Parker got a hand on it. And that is how we will go to the fourth. It is a 1-point game. Whitesboro leads the number 10 team in Texas in 3A Division I, 28-27. They lead Brock as we head to the fourth on Friday Night Football. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff.
Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Next week, one of the games of the year in 5A is Denton Ryan hosts Aledo in a pivotal district clash. Friday at 7 on the WFAA YouTube channel and WFAA Plus. Back on Friday Night Football, 28-27. The Whitesboro Bearcats lead the Brock Eagles after 3 quarters of play, hyping up their far side crowd. Heckma Harrison, your thoughts as we go to the fourth?
Wow. We asked for a good game, and we've got ourselves one. We were offered a bet of 20 points, 20-point spread earlier. Boy, God, I wish I took that bet. I didn't, though. But that was this game has been a lot closer, and I love the way that these teams have battled through this game. It has been something else to see the Bearcats and the Eagles go back and forth and just making big plays.
I'll tell you what, I saw the Dave Campbell's Texas Football on their website. They have a point spread projection for every game. They had Brock by 15 in this game. When I saw that earlier this week, I said, no way it's going to be that far a margin. That ball's knocked away right at the goal line.
Yeah,
Finney had a chance at it, and a really nice play by Jay Sanders.
Now here we are. This is 4th down. This is a big possession right here. 4th down. And you still have an opportunity, Mike, to pick up a first down. So what's the thought process going into this down if you're the head coach?
The first thing we need to touch on, no Brody Baker, no field goal attempt. If he were healthy, you probably kick the field goal here and take a 2-point lead. Instead, 4th down and 8, maybe 9. No choice but to go for it here. Moody in shotgun. 2 wides to the far side. And now whistles and a timeout called by Brock. That's now their second timeout taken in this half. Only 1 to go the rest of this 11:54.
Yeah, that may be problematic, but one thing you want to do, if you're Coach Billy Mathis, you want to get this play right no matter what you do, because again, there are 2 things that can happen here. You can pick up a first down, all right? Give you 4 fresh sets, 4 fresh downs, or you can get a touchdown. Either way, you got 1 down to do it. Play call is going to be very important here.
It is an atmosphere here in Brock that is, it's something to behold. This is what high school football, Heckma, should be.
No, absolutely. I mean, we've had, I tell you what, like I've told you, week in and week out, we've gone to so many different schools and stadiums, but this atmosphere is, man, you walk in the stadium and everybody's so excited. The whole city shuts down to be here. I just absolutely love it, man.
4th down and 8. Moody in shotgun. 2 wides to either side. Motion man is Brewster. Moody picked off. Coming back the other way is Jay Sanders. He's got some blockers out across the 35, dives across the 40, and the Whitesboro defense continues what has been a spectacular second half for the Bearcats.
Jay Sanders is just standing in the zone, waiting on this ball. Look at the throw, and I don't even know if Tyler Moody saw him, but Jay Sanders from the strong safety spot, again, whatever adjustment they made, they have done a good job of standing in those throwing lanes of Tyler Moody, the senior who has been playing lights out, makes an errant throw and turns the ball over.
And with 11:42 to play here in the 4th, here comes Mac Harper, Grayson Ledbetter, and the Bearcats offense with a lead. At Eagle Stadium in Brock, Harper keeps it himself, throws near side. Donaldson trying to follow a block, stumbles his way to midfield. A pickup of 9 on the first play of the series.
And look at that play fake. They put that ball in the belly of Ledbetter. The entire Eagles defense collapsed on him, and then they get the ball on the outside. This is to bring up a manageable 2nd and 1.
Motion man is Donaldson, handoff up the middle, there goes Ledbetter, lowering his shoulder, driving people backward inside the 40-yard line to the 35. Grayson Ledbetter, strong.
Like bull. It's just a kid that he is lowering his shoulder, and look at that, man. You have tried, I don't care how much you get on the blocking shed, it is hard to try and get lower than number 4.
1st and 10 at the 35. Quick throw near side, complete in the arms of Clay Hermes. He makes a man miss, dives to the 25-yard line. They'll mark him at the 26, just a hair shy of the 1st down.
And Clay Hermes, he makes a play to get things started here. Literally in the 3rd quarter, the comeback started with Clay Hermes and the catch that he made to move the chains, and he has been using that 6'2", 193-pound frame of his to make some clutch catches here in the second half.
2nd down and a yard. Donaldson again in motion. They'll give it to him. Follows the block of Ledbetter. Falls down across the 25. That will be enough to move the chains.
And another 1st down for the Bearcats.
Jaslyn Phillips in the comments says, Bearcats going to take the dub. Leah Johnson says, Hermes, Ledbetter, Bearcats. They are driving right now, leading by a point and hunting for more. Under 10 to play in the 4th. Harper fires. That's complete on the sideline. That is one heck of a play from Mac Harper.
And he has a wind-up throw, and he put that thing on a rope to the outside.
That's a dot.
Yeah, he winded it up. He throws it like a pitch.
Oh, but an ineligible man downfield is going to take all of that off the board. That's the danger of the RPO system. Let's see, can we get one more look at that, see if we can spot who it was that went downfield there for this Whitesboro offense. It was hard to tell for sure, but yeah, you can see it. Maybe it was Cody Vessels, their left guard, number 79, that was just a little too far downfield. Turns what would have been 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line into 1st and 15 back out at the 29.
And we've seen that call a couple of times plague the Bearcats.
Quick throw far side, that's dangerous. Somehow that ball was, I think, completed. No, they're going to say incomplete. Sanders had his hands on it. Yeah, no, that was never actually a completed pass. Good work from Cannon Stevens, the sophomore corner. Got his hands in there fast.
But no, Cannon Stevens, he reads it immediately and is trying to get through a blocker. That's good film study by number 12, recognizing that pass is coming out his direction, and he has to fight off a blocker to try and either get an interception or make a tackle.
2nd down and 15. Harper, straight drop, pressure in his face, gets away for the moment, able to fire it out of bounds near side. Donaldson was at least somewhat in the vicinity, and I believe he was outside the tackle box. No flag for intentional grounding. Again, let us know in the YouTube comments where you're tuning in from tonight. Let us know if you got a favorite player on one of these two football teams. You're tuning in because you're a grandparent or an aunt and uncle that's maybe watching from somewhere across the country. And again, share this feed around with your friends in the Whitesboro community, the Brock community. I think anybody in Whitesboro, Texas right now that didn't make the 2-hour drive down here to Brock is watching right now with their team up by a point here in the 4th quarter on the road against the number 10 team in the state that went to the championship game a year ago. 3rd down and 15. Harper over the middle, complete, 1st down and then some. Sanders breaking away, touchdown Whitesboro. 29 yards.
And this senior group has said, not anymore. We are not going to come close and give up a lead. We are going to win this ball game, and you can tell that the Bearcats are not trying to play it safe. They are going for the kill shot, and that was a great throw and catch from Mac Harper to number 6, Chase Sanders.
On comes Garton for the PAT to make it an 8-point football game. It is up and through. 35-27, still a one-score game, but Whitesboro on the road behind Mac Harper and a massive second half from this entire Bearcats football team with a lead at Brock in the 4th on Friday Night Football.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Y'all-itics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas.
So each week we invite on change makers for cold beer and candid conversations into the issues really affecting Texans.
Yeah, and we're bringing in diverse viewpoints so you get to listen and really understand.
This is solid information and a deep dive you're not going to get anywhere else.
Not to brag,
but just to brag a little bit.
Okay, a little. We've been trending and making headlines.
Plus, we have more than 1 million downloads.
And still counting.
35-27. The Whitesboro Bearcats outscoring Brock in the second half, 20-0. Heckma Harrison to lead it by 8 with 9:19 to play in the 4th.
No, they have come through with all the big plays, not only on offense, but on defense as well. They have responded in this second half, and I want to see from the Eagles, they have got to come back with something. Defensively, they've got to take it to them. By this Bearcats offense, they've got to put up some points right here.
They fake the kickoff once again and then back away. Now the line drive fielded from the 24-yard line. Stevens cutting back near side, now cuts upfield. Out to the 39-yard line. Good field position once again for the Brock Eagles.
And that swift kick is worked, but it's done also if they're able to field it, they're able to scoot upfield and get some favorable yardage. Starting position had been a problem for the Eagles all pretty much this entire game except for that last possession.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 39 for Tyler Moody and company, trailing by 8. 9:14 to play on their home field. Moody keeping it himself, pressure in his face immediately, and he's taken down. And it's the man who just, never mind, it's Max Parker, 8, not 6. Parker with the tackle for loss.
And I've said this so many times about Tyler Moody and his decision-making in the RPO, but that's one time that he probably needed to give Brett Tutter the ball and let him get to the outside instead of taking it himself, because that was well read by the Bearcats defense. You got 2nd and 13, so they're falling back behind the chains, and it's not due to penalties. It's because of the Bearcats' defense.
They've got to get to the 49 for a first down. Moody, quick throw right side, complete. That'll be enough for a first down. Good fight from Cotton Tanner into Whitesboro territory.
And that's a name we hadn't called this entire game, but Tanner comes up big here in the 4th quarter with a great throw and catch from Tyler Moody.
That's the Rock Eagle.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line now in Whitesboro territory. Moody keeping it himself. Got a lead blocker out in front. It's Tutter. Nice job by Sanders to undercut him.
Yeah, Sanders does a good job of cutting it back inside, because I tell you what, if Moody's able to catch this edge, he is going to do damage and continue to run. That's a good job by 6. Cutting off that lane. Bearcats defense can't get lazy here. They've got to continue to get these stops. What you see right now, Tyler Moody is trying to extend this game by tying it up.
Second down and 5. Tutter with the handoff up the middle, and there's Chappelle once again.
Yeah, there's Dave.
Chappelle's show in Parker County tonight. He has been everywhere up front for this Whitesboro defense.
That's Dave and Hunter Fay. They've seen a lot of each other today. It has been a battle in the trenches between number 62 and this offensive line.
Third down and 2. Moody looking near side. 7 minutes and moving here in the 4th. Brock still with just that 1 timeout remaining. They took one that was very early on in the 3rd quarter. Moody running right. He'll have the first down. Kind of hopped his way across the line to gain. And down to the 36-yard line, 1st and 10.
And this Bearcats defense doing a good job of closing off those running lanes. Not making it as easy. Before in the first half, when Tyler Moody was getting past that 2nd line of defense, it was all open field for him to run through.
6.5 minutes to play. The Brock Eagles, in the history of their program, have lost 6 games at this field. Tutter with the carry near side. Give him 3 on the carry. They lost to Fort Worth Christian in 2013, Brady in 2014, Midland Christian in 2017, Brownwood in 2019, and then 2 games this year, Pleasant Grove and Gunner. Very, very few times in the history of this program have they lost on this field. That's in jeopardy tonight. Down by 8 with under 6 minutes now to play here in the 4th.
That is unbelievable. That record is something else.
What's crazy is that of those 6, 2 have been this year. Now again, against fantastic teams. Over the middle, complete. Jet Jones. Looks like he'll have enough for a first down. Yes, he will. And Brock continues this march.
Well, that's been the forgotten about man. Jet Jones, who had a pretty good first half, reintroducing himself to this Bearcats defense in the 2nd half, is now looks like the Eagles have got their offense rolling.
1st and 10 at the 25. Looking near side, complete. Finney sheds a tackle to the 15. It'll depend on the spot, but that may be another first down.
Good job by Finney, fighting off the first tackler.
He does indeed have just enough to move the sticks.
Whitesboro's trying to hold on to their timeouts, but they may want to take one here just to give their defense a blow. They've had to take it to them.
Brock began this drive at their own 39-yard line, and it has been chunk after chunk after chunk. Moody bobbles the snap, and he's taken down from behind. Sterling Garton with the sack. He saw the opportunity and pounced on it.
Well, Garton, number 7, was coming on a blitz. You see him coming from the outside, and it gives him an opportunity when he sees Tyler Moody bobble the ball. That's a good job by 7.
They spot the football at the 22-yard line. A loss of officially 7, call it 2nd and 17. Finney in motion. Moody looking near side. Pocket breaks down, flips it over the middle. Dangerous pass. Somehow he got it to Brewster. They're going to pick up a handful of yards on this. Man, this takes a lot of faith.
Yeah, Tyler Moody, you cannot make plays like this. That's one of those, that's a gimme to the defense. He is lucky that that didn't get intercepted. You see that? So that is disaster zone when you throw that into the middle, pretty much the teeth of that defense.
Tyler Moody is in the very first pew on Sunday morning throwing passes like that,
hey,
man. My goodness.
Well, they call that living right.
3rd down now, and it doesn't. They've got to get to the 6 for a first down. Play action over the middle, end zone, touchdown Jet Jones. And Brock is a 2-point conversion away from tying the football game.
And the Bearcats have done everything, except for cover Jet Jones. He has made it a night, and this 2-point conversion would mean they would tie this ball game up. And man, the Bearcats they've got to be asking themselves, what do we have to do to make these guys quit? Because they won't.
We've got some scoreboard issues here in-house. Our on-screen scoreboard still shows 35-33. 3:37 to play here in the 4th quarter. I'm not sure who the timeout was called by. Now everything's been reset, including what's coming to us. 3:37, 35-33. Yep. Everybody in the press box right now scrambling, trying to make sure that we have exactly the correct details to recreate what the scoreboard said. Fellas, if it's helpful, we can also blink back on the broadcast. This is a little bit delayed from right before it got wiped out. 3 timeouts for Whitesboro, 1 timeout for Brock. There, it just got erased, but I can blink it back here on our YouTube feed. Obviously 35-33, 3:37, 3 timeouts and 1 timeout. So yeah, what you guys have is absolutely correct. But we're still seeing all zeros over here. You can't help but wonder, Heckma Harrison, how this impacts all of the momentum that Brock just built up. Driving down the field, ball off their own 39-yard line to begin that drive. They march down the field, they connect on the big touchdown pass here just a moment ago from Moody to Jet Jones, and they're all right, hey, let's go in there, go get a 2-point conversion and tie this football game up. And now this happens and everything just kind of stops down. you can't help but wonder how that impacts a football game, a football team. Everything about the mojo of the moment is disjointed now because of this.
Hey, that's the second time I've heard disjointed, and it is applied to the situation perfectly. And I'm telling you right now, this has been that kind of night where both of these teams have battled back and forth, and hey man, it just made the scoreboard malfunction.
So they're saying apparently the issue with the scoreboard is not with what's in-house, because as you can see, what's feeding our scoreboard here is coming from the same scoreboard here that's in-house. We're getting data. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Our director, Clay Marshall, Johnny on the spot, is doing this manually. So are we not getting data then? Okay. So it looks like the officials are going to keep the time on the field.
Okay, 25.
And here we go. 2-point conversion try coming for the Brock Eagles. Moody will be under center. Watkins dots the I, and now a flag. Is that going to be a false start against Brock?
Yes. Number 44 moved.
They have had issues with this all night, but this would be the worst possible time.
And Cam Harris, like you said, he couldn't have picked the worst time to jump off sides, and he did.
False start.
So now the 2-point conversion try will come from the 7-yard line. And Billy Mathis just cannot believe it. What a weird sequence this has been the last few minutes, and I almost don't blame. Well, you said it was Jackson Hart, 42, that jumped off?
No, that's 44, Cam Harris.
Oh, okay, Cam Harris that jumped off. I almost can't blame him because it's been so herky-jerky, and are we playing, are we not, what's going on here? You kind of get out of your head. Now they've got to lock back in here and try and convert on a 2-point conversion from the 7-yard line. Now Moody in shotgun, rolling right, looking backside, knocked away. What a job by the Whitesboro defense to read it, and Jay Sanders, who's been one of the players of the second half, makes another huge play.
No, he really has, and you know what? They were beat on this play. Look at this. They come back to the opposite side, throws back across, and he has the man wide open, and that's number 42, the tight end, Jackson Hart. Boy, what a job by Jay Sanders. And I'll tell you the other dangerous part about that throw, if Jay Sanders is able to get his head turned around quick enough, that's a house call.
Yeah.
There's no one's on that side.
Nobody was in the vicinity. We saw that a week ago in the Mansfield Summit Midlothian Heritage game. An interception returned for 2 points. One of the wackier plays we've ever seen.
Talk about disjointed. Sir Luke Tunte.
We are getting close to having scoreboard data once again. As you can see, we've at least got the time back on the scoreboard here in-house.
Well, I don't think it's still 3:37. It's definitely some time has gone off from there.
Well, but no, because that's an untimed down.
Yeah, you're absolutely
the 2-point conversion is an untimed down. So as crazy as everything has been, no time has elapsed since Moody hit. I'm
disjointed also, okay? Jeez.
Aren't we all? But here we go. We have accurate scoreboard data. And we've got ourselves a football game, and now we've got a little bit of a decision here for the Brock Eagles, because with only one timeout and with Grayson Ledbetter on the other side, you're in danger zone of not getting the football back.
True.
Do you consider an onside kick here?
We will keep the clock on the field. We will keep the clock on the field.
If I'm a coach, I do not like hearing that. I want to be able to see the time and know what's going on.
I feel like you guys could probably keep just running it yourselves. No? I don't know. So if we can go ahead and turn our clock off, because that's no longer going to be accurate, we can leave the scoreboard data perfect. This has been a weird finish to this football game. We know that at least at the moment it is 3 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock, but the officials have elected to keep the clock on the field Do they kick an onside kick? No, they're going to kick it in the air up the sideline. That's dangerous. That can be recovered. Brock's on top of it. Eagles football, an unbelievable turn of events, and it's Tutter with the recovery. A player from Whitesboro had a chance at it, decided to let the ball bounce out of bounds. It didn't, ricocheted back inbounds, and Tutter with the recovery. Brett Donaldson was the deep man for Whitesboro. Thought it was going to bounce out of bounds, tried to dance out of the way of the football, and it took the most Brock Eagle of bounces you could imagine back into the field. Eagle football, 1st and 10 at the 20. Moody, handoff Watkins. Picks up 4. Unbelievable. If we can keep a hold of that replay, let's try and come back to that. No? Okay.
There are very few times in my life that I've been speechless, but I am speechless. I don't. What just happened?
Jaslyn Phillips in the comments, complete shock. 2nd down and 6. Moody running left, taken down. Good defensive play by Sterling Garton. Let's give one more look at the kickoff here that was recovered by Tutter. This play was unbelievable. Timeout called by Whitesboro, their first timeout taken here in the second half. Again, Donaldson tried to jump out of the way. It's almost like he got confused between the rules for a punt as compared to a kickoff. Like maybe he thought if I just get out of the way, it'll be down by Brock. But that's not the way a kickoff works.
That's a kickoff. You've got. I mean, you go over that in special teams meetings. You know you have got. That ball doesn't go out of bounds. You have got to get on that ball. That is a live ball. Unbelievable turn of events.
Yeah, I'm seeing a comment here from Jim Spears. He said, I'm not sure he touched the ball. So you guys know out there in our viewing audience, it does not matter. That is a live football on a kickoff. It's very different from a punt. That ball is live from the moment it is kicked and gets beyond 10 yards from the point the ball is kicked. Brock can recover that football whether it is touched by Whitesboro or not. Donaldson should have, honestly, what he should have done is caught the ball standing out of bounds. Then that is a penalty because technically the ball would have landed out of bounds. Instead, he danced out of the way, and Tutter, Johnny on the spot to recover it. 3rd down and 6. Moody throws near side, complete. Finney out of bounds, 1st and goal.
And the thing is, the question that you have right now, because we don't have the time in the stadium, what is the actual time on the field?
We do not have that data right now. It was 3:37 when the ball was kicked off. You got to imagine it's about 2.5 maybe is my guess. I really don't know.
So we did have a timeout. It goes out of bounds here. So let's just assume that you're right.
That is purely a guess, though. Power eye here. Watkins dotting it. Gets the handoff, undercut.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Whitesboro has 2 timeouts remaining. The scoreboard still shows 3, but they did use one just a moment ago. But again, we do not know how much time is left now. The clock being kept on the field by the officials. Brewster in motion. Fake the handoff. End zone! Touchdown, Brock! Cam Harris on the receiving end, and the Eagles have the lead.
What a gutsy call by Coach Mathis in the red zone to Cam Harris. This ball game is just too much. This is too much. Wow. Mike Leslie, what is going on?
At this point, I'm not really sure because we have no idea how much time is left in this football game. Wow. Maybe, hopefully, Rob Jasper will give us an update here before the ensuing kickoff. It looks like Brock's going to go for it here to try and make it a 6-point game, which makes sense. 6 is better than 5. Then you at least have to force Whitesboro to kick a PAT to win the football game. Timeout called by Brock. That is their 3rd and final timeout.
My goodness, man, this is
everybody up here in the press box just guessing how much time is left. Okay. Clarification from our friends up here in the press box. The Pleasant Grove game that I mentioned earlier as a home loss was actually a neutral site game. So 5 losses on this home field over the course of the history of this program. They started in 2012. They played 2 varsity games. First full season was 2013. I'm trying to see if I can read the lips of Rob Jasper to see if he's telling anybody how much time is left. Very few people in the world know how much time is left in this football game, and they're all on the field.
And Mike, that's the benefit of being in such an intimate setting as his press box. You get corrected on the fly. No.
Lesson learned, you can't always trust Max Preps. 2-point conversion try here. End zone for Moody, tipped away. It will stay a 4-point game, 39-35. Around 2 minutes left, maybe. Still 2 timeouts left for the Whitesboro Bearcats to work with. 2-ish minutes left in this football game, and they now trail again for the first time since it was 27-22 midway through the 3rd quarter.
This is, I tell you what, this is one of those games right now for Whitesboro that 2 minutes to go, that's plenty of time for them to go into their bag and try and get a touchdown. That's all they got to be thinking right now.
We've seen how good their offense can be in this second half. Mac Harper's made some really, really nice plays, but they've got to make at least one more if they're going to come out of here with a win tonight. What a football game this has been.
I want to make sure that I say this before we sign off. This kid, Brett Donaldson, has had himself one heck of a game. He made a mistake, okay, on the field.
Yes.
He made a mistake, and that's one of those things as a young man, he's going to be so hard on himself, upset with himself. He's going to blame himself for this game. He shouldn't, okay?
Yes.
And that's, look, that's, you know, we're all here for Friday Night Lights and to lift up these young men. And I don't want for Brett Donaldson to lay his head on his pillow tonight suffering from that one play. Because he's played one heck of a game today. And that's not going to be his career. And so, look, if you play football long enough, you're going to make a bad play.
Yeah.
All right? And so, no, man, just live with it, move on, and go on to the next thing, man, because you've had yourself one heck of a game tonight, man. I've enjoyed sitting here calling your name and number 3.
They called the penalty against Brock for kicking the football out of bounds. Whitesboro elected to make them kick it off again. You can't help but wonder, is Cody Fagan trying to set something up here on the kickoff return, try and create an opportunity for some sort of play, whether it's a reverse, anything along those lines. Brock will kick it away once again. Dylan Foster to kick it away. Line drive kick up the right side. Fielded at the 35-yard line. Garton out to the 45, close to midfield, and it's going to be good field position here for the Whitesboro Bearcats offense as they try and make something of whatever time is left in this football game.
I hate that. I hate that you just said whatever time is left in this game. I need to know how much time is left right now, Mike.
I really don't know.
Give me a guess to me. Just guess. I got to live with something, whatever you say.
I'll say $1.40. That would be my guess. I do not know, and I don't know if the kids on the field know. I haven't seen Rob Jasper, our official, going up and saying, hey, this is how much time is left. I haven't seen that kind of communication, so I don't know if the kids know how much time is left on the clock. 1st and 10 here for Whitesboro at their own 49. Harper with pressure in his face, fires downfield, had to throw it away. It'll be 2nd down and 10. He had pressure from Cam Harris, as he's had a lot of the night.
Look, I'm going to my big receiver, and that's number 11, Clay Hermes. It's been sure-handed. But you go to your biggest receiver, let him take a shot at a 50-50 ball.
Whitesboro does have 2 timeouts remaining. Brock out of timeouts. We will be joining the WFA News at 10 here momentarily as part of high school game night. They'll dip in and join us for a little bit. Over the middle, complete across the 40-yard line, dragging tacklers. Good effort there from Brett Donaldson. Beg your pardon, it's Carter Sluter on the receiving end. They'll race to the line of scrimmage as they set the sticks. And now they'll wind the clock. Again, we don't know how much time is left. There was a clock issue here at Brock-Siegel Stadium. It's being kept on the field. 1st and 10 here for Harper. Fires near side. Waiting for it is the kind of escape hatch of Clay Hermes. He goes out of bounds inside the 35-yard line after picking up 3.
So whatever we know, the clock just stopped.
We at least know that much. There we go, an update from Rob Jasper, 1 minute, 23 seconds.
Okay.
So now we've at least got an idea of how much time is left in this football game. .123. It looks like they may run the clock here in the press box. Is that what we're doing? Okay. So we've got clock data back, at least for the moment. Over the middle, incomplete, intended for Donaldson. So now we're saying $1.19 to play here in the 4th quarter. Third down and 7. It is bouncing here in Parker County. Harper, deep far sideline, complete, 1st down.
Holy moly, what a throw from Mac Harper.
Carter Sluter on the receiving end. They move the chains. They'll wind the clock. $1:10 to play, and Harper will spike it.
So they must be out of timeouts then.
But maybe they're trying to I thought they still had 2. I thought they had only called the 1.
We got 109. The game clock is correct. We're going to turn controls back on the game clock. 109.
All right, so the folks here in the press box have apparently sufficiently impressed Rob Jasper, so he says, okay, you guys are good to keep the clock the rest of the way.
Jasper's sick. He is sick of keeping the time on the field. There's too much pressure. Take it off of me. He go back up to the booth.
1:09 to play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Please reset the clock at 1:11.
1:11 they're saying the clock should be. That feels like a little bit of a dangerous ask to play with the clock right now, but we're going to go ahead and do it. And now we are ready for play.
Still have it as 1st down on the other
side. They do, yeah. Harper pressured forward in the pocket, pump fakes, tries to run for it. Good tackle on the far sideline. What a play by Luke Kearley. Under a minute, clock continues to wind.
I think they call timeout.
The far side line, the far side sticks. Timeout called by Whitesboro. That is their second called timeout here in the second half. The far side sticks reads 2nd down and 6.
This is 3rd down.
It should be 3rd down. They spiked the football. It should be 3rd down coming up, not 2nd down. They just now changed it on the far sideline. I'm not sure if that was at the direction of the officials or if they just realized the error. Either way, it will be 3rd down out of this timeout here called by Whitesboro. .57 seconds left, 4th quarter, 39-35. Brock with the lead, a wild football game to this point. Whitesboro scoring the first 20 points of the second half to take a 35-27 lead. Brock then answered back. Moody to Jet Jones for a touchdown. They failed on the 2-point conversion, but then on the ensuing kickoff, a weird bounce away from Brett Donaldson, recovered by Brock. A few plays later, they were in the end zone as Moody found Cam Harris to take the lead. That's where we stand now as Whitesboro is driven down the field inside the 20-yard line. 3rd down and 6 out of the timeout. Moody with 2 wide receivers to the left, pump fake, pressure, gets away, trying to run away, can't get away from everybody, finally taken down as it's Reed Watkins who comes through with the tackle, and it'll be 4th down after he loses a couple yards.
That's the
timeout, Whitesboro, their final timeout.
Yeah, final timeout taken.
Whitesboro is their 3rd and final timeout.
Wow.
This has been a wacky night.
I don't know I don't even know what to think about this game anymore. This has been so much back and forth. The loss of time on the clock. I've turned into a complete spectator here at this point. I can't believe what's happening.
1,000 of you with us right now on the WFA YouTube channel, and they'll be joining us here on the WFA News at 10 here in a moment as part of high school game night. They'll be dipping in to join us for possibly just in time for 4th down and 8 here, 4th and football game for the Whitesboro Bearcats.
46 seconds left to go right back to the decision that the Eagles made before when they were in a similar situation. 4th down, you could still pick up the 1st down. Do you go for the touchdown? Do you go for the win? Or do you go, do you get the 1st down? This is a big time decision right here for Coach Fagan and his group.
Out of the timeout, 4th down and 8. They've got to get to the 14, just inside the 14-yard line to pick up a 1st down. 3 backs in the backfield here with Harper. Now they spread out. Sanders to his left. Harper, pressured, fires backside. He's got an open man. Complete at the 20. He's got a long way to go to get the 1st down. I think he's going to get there. They will mark him out of bounds with a 1st down inside the 12.
No, the clock didn't stop. He did not get out of bounds.
But they had the 1st down. It should have stopped to move the chains. 23 now, and still moving, 22. It looks like Jasper's going to put, they're going to put 3 seconds back on, put it at 25 seconds. He had the 1st down, so the clock should have stopped at least for a moment. Look at this play again, though. Harper looking backside for Donaldson, who's the young man who made the play earlier that allowed Brock to get back in this football game. You think he didn't want to make a play to make up for it right there? Gets the 1st down, and it's 1st and 10. Beg your pardon, it'll be 2nd and 10 after they spike the football at the 12-yard line. 25 seconds to work with here for Mac Harper and the Whitesboro Bearcats. Brock's Eagle Stadium rattling once again with the cowbells. 2 wides to either side for Harper. Looking left, pump fakes, pressure in his face, rolling near side, fires end zone, wide open. They're saying he didn't catch it. Incomplete. They're saying he didn't get his feet in bounds.
He bobbled it.
Look at this one again. It is so close.
What? No, he bobbled.
He did bobble it. He did bobble it just barely. It was Donaldson that was the intended receiver. Just barely bobbled, just ever so slightly, and it's incomplete. 3rd down and 10. 16 seconds left.
Cannot take a sack.
And they've been in the face of Harper. Here they come again. He steps forward. Pressure. Gets away. Harper sidearms it. Incomplete. Was he beyond the line of scrimmage?
It looked like he was.
There is no flag on the field. It's going to be 4th down and 10. What a job by Harper to evade the rush here. Reminder, if any part of him is behind the line of scrimmage, a sliver of his heel, he's still considered behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, it must have been really close because there is a ref standing right there at the marker that did not throw the flag.
4th down and football game. 10 seconds left here for Harper. 2 wides to either side. Here comes the blitz. Pump fakes, whistles. What's the stoppage? A delay of game.
A delay of game. And that's a runoff. No, I don't believe so. I'm going to pros now.
Here's Rob Jasper with the ruling. Well, here's the other reason why it's not a runoff. It's coming off of an incompletion.
Right.
So the clock was not running. If the clock were running, different story, but coming off an incompletion, regardless of what the rule is or isn't at the high school level, it was coming off of a stopped clock anyway. 10 seconds left. 4th down and 15 now off the penalty. Moody. Pressured. Gonna try and run for it. Moody inside the 10. Cuts back inside the 5. Moody to the end zone. He's short. Time has expired. Brock wins. Moody taken down at the 1-yard line. And that's the football game.
Mac Harper did everything to get into the end zone. What a ball game. How did he look at this replay.
What a run by Mac Harper. The cut back there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, look at that spot. Where is he? We do not have a camera down the line. That is our only replay angle.
He's in.
Oh my goodness. Ruled on the field as not a touchdown, and the Brock Eagles will win 39-35. They will be talking about that spot in Whitesboro for years. 39-35 final score. You can see the frustration from Cody Fagan right now. Beside himself. Cannot believe that they were not given the touchdown there for Mac Harper. What an effort from the senior quarterback. What an absolutely fantastic football game.
Yeah, that's an amazing finish. And, man, a game.
You hear from some of the Whitesboro folks making their way through the press box. What a football game. Let's look at it one more time if we can. This was spectacular effort from Mac Harper. He was running away from the blitz all night long, makes a great move right here at the 8-yard line to evade Reed Watkins, he lowers his shoulder.
He falls into the end zone.
I don't know how they... Wow, that spot is, whew. Michael Tomlin, the field judge, right there on that side. Man, they're going to be talking about that play for a very, very, very long time within these two programs. What matters is what you see on the screen right there. 000s, 39-35 Brock. But that was a football game for the ages between these two teams.
Mike, we've called some games together this season so far, and I'm you keep asking, like, which game do you say is the best so far, which is better, which was this game right here, man. This had all the drama, the ebb and flows. Hey, man, the clock completely went out on us.
This was a wild football game.
The clock went out on us, Mike.
I'll tell you what, take a moment just for a second and acknowledge what's happening right now on the field. These two teams just went to war for 48 minutes. Had an unbelievable finish, a controversial finish.
Yeah.
And then huddled up together as a giant group.
Yeah.
Shook hands, knelt down together. That says an awful lot about these two programs.
Yeah, to say the least. To say the least. And again, I have to back this up with number 3, Brett Donaldson. Yeah, you played one heck of a game. You guys did a wonderful job, your whole entire team. And I'll tell you what, Whitesboro, they'll get another shot at this. They will get another shot at this. And so they shouldn't hang their head. And I know history, they're looking at what happened last year. And they had their opportunities, and then the news clippings came out with them saying they beat themselves and all of that. And then in the playoffs, Brock beat them. But I think Brock right now knows that this is a different Whitesboro Bearcat squad, and they came out and they proved it tonight. They played their hearts out tonight.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and pencil it in right now. Friday, December 2nd, Saturday, December 3rd, one of those 2 days. Regional final. I'd bet my paycheck it's these two football teams meeting again for a trip to the state semifinals.
Well, they will see each other again.
They met last year in the regional finals. Brock ran away from them. Very different story this year. These two football teams are on incredibly even footing and just played a tremendous football game tonight. A game for which the outcome is still somewhat a question mark, especially for the folks wearing maroon tonight trying to go get in the bus and drive 2 hours home to Whitesboro. They're not feeling like they lost this football game. Give you one more look at Mac Harper. You decide at home. Is that 6 points?
That is 6 points, man. Watched a lot of football. That's 6 points, man. So, that's a tough way. That's a tough way to lose. They battled back the entire game. They picked up some very clutch first downs, and December 2nd, December 3rd. I'm anticipating seeing these guys again. This was one heck of a matchup.
Let's do this game justice and go back through it for a moment, because this was a special football game. Brock jumped out to the early lead, 6-0. This game was wacky from the jump.
Right.
You had the snap over the head of Tyler Moody. You had penalties all over the place. You had turnovers. They were just giving the ball to each other, giving up big penalties back and forth in the first quarter. Ultimately, Brock jumped out to the 6-0 lead. Mac Harper with a virtuoso effort on a 14-yard touchdown run to give Whitesboro their first lead at 7-6. Watkins had 2 touchdown runs, also had a touchdown catch in the first half. Tyler Moody also hit Carson Finney. Brock led this game 27-15 at halftime, and we were both saying, why is Whitesboro not running the football with Grayson Ledbetter? Second half, they started to a little bit, and they started to get their offense just in general rolling. Harper hit Donaldson for a touchdown run midway through the third quarter, and that was what really seemed to kind of start to build some momentum for Whitesboro. They got that early stop defensively and then drove right down the field, 27-22. Now all of a sudden, hey, game on. And Whitesboro kept it going. Just a couple minutes later, here came Ledbetter again. 46-yard touchdown run. Whitesboro led as we went to the fourth, 28-27, and they'd add to it, make it 35-27 early on in the fourth.
And think about that. It was those big plays, those big runs by Ledbetter that brought this game back to even. And you could tell Coach Fagan said, look, in order for us to get back in this game, we have to stay true to our running game. They started doing that. And then, man, they just started dealing. Mac Harper came through with so many clutch throws. They were faced with some third downs, and they were coming back. behind the chains.
Yeah.
4th down, he's, bringing his squad to the line of scrimmage and getting first downs. Man, this was an amazing game on behalf of Whitesboro, the Bearcats. They responded. The way that they came out in that second half, defensively, forcing the punt on the first drive, in the third quarter. They forced 2 punts to begin the second half. And to me, that set the tone for the whole second half of the game. And you saw that they were dead set on winning this ball game. But I tell you what, they just could not. Once they got up by 8, that was where things went wacky for them, because you get the Eagles come back, they score a touchdown, they don't get the 2-point conversion, and then on the kickoff, that's what I'm talking. The kickoff, the botch from Donaldson, they get the ball, go down and score, and at that point, man, you truly are asking yourself at that point, like, man, is this game over, right?
Yeah.
But then
for Whitesboro to answer back, man,
they answer back, and they come down the field, clutch throws by Mac Harper, and that last drive, Mac Harper, that was one heck of a run. That was a heck of a run. He had guys hanging on him. He's out in space. He's making moves. One of the I mean, just far as a top 10 football moment, I'm looking at right here. And, you hate for it to come down to officiating and someone saying that wasn't a touchdown. Look, I don't want to question it from here. I know I just saw that's instant classic of a high school football game. But, man, Whitesboro deserved to win that game the way that they battled back, Mike.
Give you another look at the kickoff that you were talking about here. Here's the play that really kind of turned this game in the fourth quarter. The kickoff that Donaldson had a chance to field, tried to get out of the way of it, thought that the ball was going to go out of bounds. Tutter, Johnny on the spot for the recovery. Shortly thereafter, Moody to Cam Harris for the touchdown to give Brock a 39-35 lead. Right in that stretch was where we lost the clock. That was where things went haywire with the clock, was right after the Moody to Jet Jones touchdown pass that made it 35-33. Brock goes in, Moody to Harris touchdown pass, 39-35. So credit to Brock, answering back on their home field, kind of backs against the wall. They go down and get 2 touchdowns. Certainly a lucky bounce on that kickoff, but they capitalized upon it, go in and score 39-35. But then for Whitesboro to come back and drive down the field, and if we can get the final play one more time, driving down the football field, and really efficiently, because they did not have a whole lot of time to work with. We were guessing there for a minute. It was about $1.40. Turned out that was actually a halfway decent guess, I suppose.
Yeah, it was.
Eventually we found out it was 1:23 when they finally told us how much time was left, and Whitesboro used that effectively. Key 4th down conversion, and you got to give credit to Brett Donaldson, and we talked about it when it happened. Did that kid ever want to make a play to try and make up for what happened on the kickoff? And did he ever?
No, he did.
Fighting to get that first down on 4th down in football game. And then the final play of the football game, if we can show it to you one more time. We're trying to key it up right now. Mac Harper, with 10 seconds on the clock when this play began. We're hunting for it. Our replay system is we have one replay angle, and that's it, and it's all these replays stack up on top of each other.
But before we get it, that 10 seconds, man, it seemed like it lasted an eternity.
Yeah.
But his ability, one, at the line of scrimmage to evade the rushers. He had rushers coming from both sides. He steps up in the pocket and moves out. At first, it looked like he was trying to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And whether he had receivers open or not, he didn't take a chance on being past the line of scrimmage and deciding to throw the ball. He goes straight for the goal line. He makes a move, evades the first defender that's in his face. It's probably down at about the 3-yard line, and he just puts his body on the line to get into the end zone. Right there, look at Brewster. He's laying on top of number 52. Look at this. He's laying on top of a guy. So there's no way that his knee is down. Look at this, Mike. There's no way that he's down. Oh, wow. That's just one of those plays that, you hate to see a young man not get the glory that he deserves right there, but that's the way it was decided. And Matt Harper, that play was all heart.
Can we show it one more time? Take another look at the play that Harper made. You can't see, obviously, down the line, and that's the angle that you really need to be able to definitively say whether the ball was across the line or not when his knee goes down.
His body is across the goal line.
Don't get me wrong. It looks like it is. I'm just saying, to say definitively, it's hard to say, and obviously the field judge is standing right there. Michael Tomlin is standing right there, looking down that line and making the call.
Huh.
It is so very close. I agree with you. If I'm making the call from where I was standing, from what we saw live, from what we've seen on this replay over and over again, if I'm making the call, I'm saying it's a touchdown. I am. But the thought that I had, and play it just one more time, the thought that I had was Mike Winchell, Friday Night Lights, the quarterback from Odessa Permian. Yeah. That's what this moment kind of felt like. And to come up just that ever so slightly
can we stop
shy.
It right there? I mean, the balls. Look at this, Mike. I mean, how is that not? Look, he's
still
extended.
And he's on top of bodies.
He's
there
on
a little
top
bit.
of people. The ball's in his left hand.
Right there is where his knee is down. And it's hard to say where the football is. I agree with you. If I'm calling it, I'm saying touchdown. But I do think, to be fair to Mike Tomlin, the field judge, I do think it's really close.
If it's an error, okay, we can go on human error. I don't have a problem with that at all. But to take that play away, if his knee is down, there's still the rest of his body extended over the goal line. And that's a hard call to make. That's a hard call to make. That's a tough one. That really is. So, hey, man, it's going to go down as a loss for Whitesboro. But I tell you what, the Bearcats, they proved something to me today.
You know what else it's going to go down as a classic?
Absolutely.
This game had everything on so many levels. A wild, wild football game.
Mike, I need a cover and a pillow, man. I need a nap up here, man. I am exhausted.
Yeah, imagine now we got to drive an hour and a half back
home. Oh my God! Stopping to get coffee at the truck stop.
Hey, I will say this: all of the controversy about the final play, what have you, whatever. Fantastic football game from both of these two programs, again, that we are very likely to see meet again in early December in the regional final. Your final thoughts from 3.5 hours worth of madness here in Parker County?
I got one word, and that's wow. It was absolutely amazing. I want to thank the community of Brock for just welcoming us with open arms. WFAA has been out here since 5 o'clock in the morning. These guys have been so generous. Everybody in the entire stadium, the way that they've treated us, and this has lived up to the billing. Like I said, instant classic football game. This will go down in infamy. Everybody will remember this one. This was a great 3A matchup. Can't wait to see these two lock horns again.
May we be so lucky as to get this good a football game next week on Friday Night Football. One of the biggest games in 5A Division I all season, statewide, as Denton Ryan hosts Aledo next Friday night at 7 o'clock. For our entire Friday Night Football crew, who did a fantastic job tonight, Director Clay Marshall, photographers Graham Rayner and Guy Opper, digital coordinators Nick Blackhall and Paul Wedding, graphics coordinators Nick Blackhall and Emil Moralda, and the one and only Heckma Harrison, the inimitable Heckma Harrison, alongside Mike Leslie. So long from Parker County, the final score. In a bit of controversy. One more time, 39-35, the Brock Eagles move to 3-4 on the year, handing the Whitesboro Bearcats their first loss of 2022. All our Friday Night Football broadcasts stream live and are archived in perpetuity on the WFAA YouTube channel and on the WFAA Plus app. This has been a proud presentation of WFAA TV.